Oh, we're live. I didn't realize we were live because there was a caption on the screen that I was trying to read some bullshit about moderators. It's been such a long time since I've gone live. I'm having to learn how to do it, and every time I have a break from doing any videos, YouTube decide to change how things work. So I've got to learn it all over again. Right, okay, welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by the. Oh, yeah. Okay, hopefully we get some people joining in soon. It's because I've got a story about an incident that happened today, which I'll get to. Yeah, it's been months and months. I'll tell you what. But the thing is, I needed a break from making my videos and going live and that. But the trouble is, when you have a break, it's sort of like difficult to come back and get into the swing of things, and then the time gets longer, and then it's even harder to come back. But I'm gonna try and come back and do a bunch more videos. I've got a few videos lined up. I've got a few products, a few crisps. I've got myself a new blender, which a lot of you regulars. What is this? Oh, Daisy Wazy, hello. Good to see you back online, Mark. Thank you. Actually, I can read you there, but here I'm going to need my glasses. Okay, so yeah, Daisy Wazy. I like that name. That's what I did a few moments ago. I loaded a video. I did a review on a new juicer, not a blender. It's a fruit juicer. You throw in your fruit in the top, it spins around and slices it up, and juice comes flying out. I did grapes, and yeah, I've got some pineapple and some apples and oranges I'm going to be doing in the next few days. What you got to do though is you got to take it in moderation. It's easy. I've heard of people what they do is there was one actor who was saying on a TV show about how he used a food juicer years ago. And he said what he'd done, he was piling all the fruit juice in there and he was chugging it down. And then he had all kinds of cramps. And he said, he didn't realize until afterwards. He said, yeah, I've just had 14 pieces of fruit in like 4 minutes. That's equivalent of drinking down a big jug of juice like that. So you've got to sort of take it in moderation. You've got to remember, it's all very well. I mean, in a sitting, you could probably eat 2-3 apples. I've eaten like 4 or 5 oranges in one sitting. But then when you take it as a juice, it is easy to consume a lot more than you know. Okay. Oh, we've got a few people in the house. There you go. Whoever you are, yeah, but join in the chat. Let me see who you are. Yeah, I've got a story. I'll tell in a while. A lot of people. Oh, who we got here? I tell you, that's the thing. My computer's been fucked for the last month. So, because normally what I do, I'll be talking to you on my phone here, but I'll be looking over here, or on my computer, looking at the chat because it's in bigger letters. It's quite difficult to read. I think I might need new glasses. That's the thing. Oh, Ammo KKKKK. So he says, "How are the chickens?" Well, the thing is, I don't have the allotment anymore, which is a bit of a bummer. But yeah, I got made redundant a while back, and while I kept the allotment going for a while, it's just the ongoing expense. I mean, the allotment wasn't the thing. I mean, that was quite cheap a year, but it's the ongoing expense of food and healthcare, and So what I'd done, I gave the chickens to somebody who keeps chickens for eggs, so they got to a good home, and yeah, you never know. One day I could get the allotment back, perhaps, and have chickens again. Yeah, what I need to do is move into a house, with a garden, because I'm upstairs in the flat. if I knew, I mean, because I bought this place in '91. What's that? That's 9 plus 26. That's 35 years. 35 years ago. And if I'd have known then what I know now, I would have bought a downstairs flat because they're the ones with a back garden. Let's see. Made redundant. You look like you are still good for another 15 years of hard work. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's funny because when I get normally, because I've been doing some agency gigs and that, and they've been putting me in places, and I tell you what, if there's 100 people in the warehouse, which in a small warehouse there can be. When I was at Tesco 25 years ago, there's a good 150. Anyway, but out of 100 people that are working in a warehouse with us, I'm usually 3 or 4 at the top of the list of the oldest people there. Sometimes there might be a few people older than me, but they're the ones that have been there for 20 years. Oh, it's a bastard. But being the in the 3 or 4 oldest people there. Because you're surrounded by either foreigners or kids that are coming out of school. So I mean, either one, you've got nothing to, in common with any of those two groups. So being the oldest person there, the oldest and wisest. But let's see. Oh, Lee B. 2241. He's back, the legend, the main man himself. Actually, I'm having to get. It may look strange. I'm having to get closer to the screen to read it. Because these glasses are not much bloody help. They're okay with objects, but if I'm trying to read, because it's on the phone, someone. Oh, hello. Somebody flashed up. Somebody like my reply or something. If I'm reading, because the writing is very small. The main man himself. Great to see you back online. It's been a while. It has. It's been a long time. What I want to do is try and get my computer fixed, and then I can do a proper live stream. Then I can be talking here, looking over there at the comments, and I can actually read them properly, and then go, And okay, anybody got any questions? What I'll do, I'll tell you about what happened today. A lot of you regulars might remember a story about must be a year ago now. The story of when I was at the train station. I'm trying to get actually no, it would have been more than a year. I'm finishing work. I'm at the train station, right? I'm at the bus stop, and I see the guy. He's getting hassled by this girl. She was the litter patrol ticket enforcer, right? And me being the type of person I am, I interject, telling him to just walk away. Don't tell her shit. Don't give your bank details. Don't tell her your name and address. Don't tell her nothing. Just go. Of course, he didn't listen to me. So he ended up handing over his card, and then the woman came to me, right, and started to try to antagonize me into giving her a knuckle sandwich because she wanted it on her camera, That was for any of you people who remember. She's the one that winked at me, And as soon because she come over when she'd finished with this guy hassling him, and she come up to me, within arm's reach, and so she's close, and she's saying how, do you have a problem with what I've done? You better keep sort of your own business, or I'll have you for obstruction and all this kind of shit. And I told her to go away. She didn't. She winked at me, saying, trying to provoke me. And so I just started. That was the one I was shouting. What was I shouting? Stop harassing me, please. Please stop harassing. I'm trying to get witnesses from about 30-foot radius. People I want them to start looking. And anyway, that was that story. And the thing is, the similar thing nearly kicked off today. It is 6:30 in the evening now. This happened at 1 o'clock, so 5.5 hours ago. Get this, I'm at the city centre, and mosh pit or seat, I don't know. I'm at the city centre, right? I'm buying all the fruit for the fruit mashing machine, right? I'm from the market. I get my bags of fruit, and I end up and I'm walking towards the bus stop, right, to get home. And I get to my bus stop, and there's a woman leaning up against the railing, and these two people in uniform, right? They're in dark uniform. I'm trying to look at their badges. Not It's something to do with council, but I couldn't quite, I assumed that they were litter patrol people. And anyway, so they're talking to her, and luckily enough, it was at my bus stop. So I'm just standing there and I'm watching this. I'm like, 8 feet away from them. I'm listening away. And after a few seconds, I knew exactly who they were. They were the litter patrol people. And I'll tell you what happened, because they, it goes to show how crafty these fuckers are. They're talking to her, and I'm listening away. I'm not interjecting just yet. And they're saying to her, yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just that everybody makes mistakes. They'll throw the litter on the floor, because we chase everybody, litter bugs, people chucking their cans, chucking cigarettes on the floor. We would chase them on. She was saying, well, yeah, well, why don't you catch those blokes? They've been throwing their rubbish all over the floor. Why are you picking on me? And she said, no, we challenge everybody. Which they don't, because later on I was telling her on the bus that these fuckers hide behind bushes and hide behind corners and cars, watching you across the road, waiting, because if they see somebody with a cigarette, odds on it's going to go on the floor, But this woman, apparently, she was stuffing them out and she was putting them in a bag, So what they're doing is, oh, hello, white van man, hello to you, and what was that? Byron? Hello to you. No, because what she was doing, she was trying to get some information out of this woman. I could tell. What it was, there was a woman and this Indian kid. He looked about 18, and he was like 6 foot. 4, right? He was a tall, and a bit like, if you imagine a brown version of Rodney from Fools and Horses, But the reason I bring that up, he's tall and lanky because he comes into a play in a minute. Yeah, so she's saying, no, listen, we all make mistakes, okay? She's telling this citizen, we all make mistakes. It's no big deal, but what we'll do, we'll let you off with a warning, okay? And we'll say nothing more about it. All I need, though, is your name and your date of birth. So we put into the thing here, and then we can just say that we gave you. And immediately I knew what the fuck she was doing, right? So I interjected, and I said to the woman, listen, you don't need to give her your date of birth, your name, your address, no, nothing. Just don't say anything. You could just walk away if you want. But of course, she wasn't listening to me. She opened up her bag. She says, showing to the woman, yeah, look, I've got cigarette butts in this little compartment in my bag, my handbag. Now she's going, and the woman was being official. Yeah, okay, showing for the camera. Thank you. Yeah, brilliant. What she was doing, what she done? She was saying to this woman, don't worry, we all make mistakes. We'll just give you a warning. Just give me your date of birth and your name. Not realizing that, because what happens is that with your name, see, the thing is, with your name, she started off with her initial. All we need is your initial and your date of birth. That's all we need. So she gave up her initial, C, and her date of birth. Okay, the woman probably figured that was is this crooked? She probably figured that was harmless enough. And then a few seconds later, she says, "Okay, we'll get your name, C. Yeah. Oh, what's your surname, by the way?" And that's when I jumped in and I told her that you don't need to hand them anything, because why do you think the police are asking for your name and your date of birth? That's all they need to find out everything about you. Because the thing is, you think about it, right? She asked for some innocent information. What's the initial of your first name? C. People with C as the first name, that could be thousands upon thousands, okay? Then she, she wants her she went for date of birth then surname, but she wants her surname as well. So say you've got C. Smith. So C as a first name, thousands upon thousands. C. Smith, that narrows it down to hundreds. C. Smith with a birth date of this narrows it down to less than a handful. And that's given that if you've lost a few fingers in a blending accident, right? 2, 3. I've worked with a guy with the same name as me, different initial, so it happens. But C. Smith, date of birth narrows it down to 1, 2, 3 people, or at most in the country. But then you match that with the face that's on the video, it narrows it down to her. And that's why she was covertly asking for this information. But what happened was, I joined this thing about 3 minutes up until the end, right? So, but I could hear it all going on. What happened was, this woman telling the citizen, "Oh, don't worry, listen, we're just going to let you off with a warning," and then she went on to try and get the information. We're just going to go for a warning. What that says to me immediately is that they were across the street. They saw her with a cigarette. They saw her. She lost it, put it on the floor. The ticket issue woman saw it with her eyes, but she didn't catch it on film. So she saw it. There's no proof on the video, so now she needs a confession. So she's asking covertly, name, bullshit, date of birth, trying to find out who she is. But then I explained all this to the woman on the bus afterwards. She went on to say, no, just a warning, But what we'll do is, because she said, "Oh no, what I'll do, I'll go pick it up." She said, no. What I told the woman on the bus afterwards, on the way home, was, she said to me, "Oh, I offered to pick it up." I said, no. If you offer to pick it up, you're admitting to guilt. On video, and if it goes to court or anything, beyond this conversation, why would you go pick up a cigarette butt off the floor if you didn't put it there? The fact that you're offering to pick it up means that you're guilty in the eyes of the authorities, because you've just admitted, you're admitting guilt, and and the thing is, she showed me her bag, this little compartment she got in a bag where she puts her cigarette butts, and I was explaining that no, you don't need to show the contents of your bag, because as soon as she showed the contents of her bag to the woman, she went, "Oh, yep, showing it for camera. Thank you very much. Okay, and now we're back to getting your date of birth out. Okay, like this." So she was being a real official, and I was telling the woman, the more you speak, the more they can use against you, because the thing, it's a little trick that the police use. What they do is, if you're in the interrogation room, they barely interrupt you. They let you talk. The more you talk, the deeper the hole you dig in. Because if the woman allows the citizen to explain, "Oh yeah, well, I just I don't know, I just dropped it on the floor, I didn't even know, look, here's my bag, and yeah, I'll go pick it up." The more you talk, you're getting yourself used to talking. That's what they want. You're getting acclimatized to verbalizing a bullshit excuse, or you're used to speaking to her. And then when you do that often enough, then it's easy for you to slip up, and that's what she wanted. She wanted the woman to volunteer to go pick up the cigarette butt, because that's an admission of guilt. And I told her, you don't have to say that. "Oh yeah, well, I was just explaining about the bag." No, even that's too much. Don't say fuck all. Just say, "No, thank you. I don't want to get into a conversation with you." That is it. You can walk away. You can get on. Oh, and I'll get to the comments in a bit. Oh, Extra AM, hello to you. Dialogue of vocabulary skills. Scott Truth. Oh, what's going on tonight? I don't know. But yeah, I tell you, if you know what to look for, it's amazing. Because I've been, I had that one incident with a woman last year at. The thing is, it never happened to me because I don't really throw rubbish on the floor, you know. Um, but both these instances, the thing is, I fucking hate is when you've got somebody in perceived authority basically throwing it around, you know. And this woman when I was talking to her on the bus, she said, "Oh yeah, the thing is, my heart was bumping, you know, like oh yeah, because I was a bit nervous talking to these two." And I was, "Oh yeah, well that's what they want, you know. They speak to you like you don't have a choice, you know. They say to you." All right, let me take your address. They don't put it as a question. May I have your name, your date of birth, etc., etc. They put it like it's a statement. I want this, and you know, you were up. And because I tell you what, because when I'm listening to it, my heart was going a little bit, not through fear, mainly because I'm thinking I'm going to get into a blown out confrontation like I did previously last year. I was expecting once I jump in, you know, because they don't want people jumping in and helping people out. And I was expecting her to, yeah, because it was all her. It wasn't that Indian kid. He wasn't doing fuck all. He was probably a trainee or something. She turned to me and she spoke to me, and then she went back. But she wasn't aggressive or anything like the other one. Anyway, but then oh yeah, because she got the initial. I don't know whether she got the last name, but she got the date of birth. I know that. But then as soon as she got the date of birth, that's when the bus came. So she moved along, got on the bus. I'm going forward to the bus, and then the Indian kid starts. What they call that when you hit your chest up against somebody, chest bumping, you know, kind of thing. He's bumping his chest into me, right? Trying to, you know, and I'm saying, hey, easy, big boy, you know, watch it. And he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't realise, you know. But it goes to show, I don't think, you know, that doesn't happen by accident. You know, if you start nudging somebody with your chest into somebody, you know, that's not an accidental. Not unless you're in a crowd of people. And there was two of them, the woman and me, and that was it, you know. So I mean, it wasn't anywhere resembling crowded. But yeah, he started chest bumping me over this, you know. And as soon as I said, you know, because he was up there, right, and I said, "Oh, hey, big boy, hey, pack it in, big boy." He was right apologetic, backed up. He didn't want a confrontation because I don't know what the fuck his problem was. Got on the bus, no problems. But I could tell you what, though, I would imagine that this woman might get a bill in the post because if they don't have especially your date of birth, because you imagine whatever you're the viewer here, okay, Lee B or Extremes or Daisy Wazy, anybody, whatever your real name is, there are other people in the country with that same name. Like I say, even me, I worked with a guy with the same first and last name. It was just our middle initial that was different. But yeah, I mean, you'll work someplace and you'll find people with the same surname, but are not related. You know, there's only so many names to go around, right? So if you have your, you know, first and last name, that's quite a bit of information. But that could be one of hundreds or even thousands of people. But narrow it down to the date of birth. You narrow it down to, you know, 1, 2, 3 people. You imagine there's 30 days in a month against 12 months of the year. So you've got 30 times 12. And then you've got basically from 19, well, say you've got somebody 80 years up to it. This woman was like 60, you know, 60-ish. But you know, if you imagine anybody from 15 to 85, you know, what's that? That's 70 years. I don't know, 70 years. So you know, 30 days times 12 months times 75 years. That's a lot of people. You know, so that's why the police ask for your date of birth, because it narrows it down to you. So there's a lesson for you. Anyway, so I was putting this woman straight over the time because I mean I don't know. I mean, I don't really look for trouble. I just find it, you know. I just happen to be at the right place at the right time a lot of the time, just for trouble to be fucking landing on me. but yeah, I mean, I've had that experience. I've had a couple of other experiences dealing with people in authority, security guards and whatnot. Oh, and the police as well, outside that chicken place when they try to hassle that kid for his camera footage. When the police were, you know, you know, not standing on somebody, but they, piling on somebody trying to arrest them. He was like, "Stop resisting! Stop! Anybody listening? Okay, stop resisting!" Because they're trying to get witnesses. And also, I've been doing a lot of video watching on this subject of the litter patrol people, which is where you see them. They're hiding behind trees, watching you. They go, "Well, okay, another 2 minutes, and he's be finished with his cigarette. We'll just see what he does with it." They'll fucking follow people. That woman that I had the trouble with, helping that guy out. I was talking to people about her. She said, "Oh yeah, the woman in the local burger van where I was working." She said, "Oh yeah, that sounds like the one that was here." She fucking chased some guy up the street. He tried to get one of those mobile scooters. You pay with your phone, but the battery was cracked out, so he had to. She followed him for 10 minutes up the street. They cannot put their hands on you. They say that they'll call the police, like this woman did with me, a year ago. But the thing is, unless you're beating the bejesus out of them, the police are not going to show up. They say, "What's that?" Yeah, well, somebody put a cigarette butt on. Well, fuck off. We've got crime to be dealing with. The police are not going to show up, LB, really good to see you, Mark. I hope this is the first of many lives. Oh, I hope so. Yeah. Be better if I get my computer fixed so I can be able to read the comments a bit better, probably. How are you chicken? Oh, I don't have the chickens anymore, Tom Z. No, I had to give them up. I have to give them to a good home. Maybe one day I'll get them back. So yeah, but no, they're cheeky bastards because the thing is that's the thing because what I believe happened was because I got there sort of near the end. She saw the woman drop it on the floor, but she didn't have it on the film, which is why if she had it on film, she would have gone to the person. And although she could have lied, but she could have gone to the person and says, "Yeah, we've got it on film. I need your debit card so you can pay an £80 fine like a dummy," rather than just walk. But she didn't have it. What I think she done, she saw it, but she didn't have it on film. So now she's like, "Oh, well, I tell you what, because I'm a nice guy, yeah." And she used the which you said, everybody makes mistakes. It's just one of those things. We have to chase people because it's the law, but we don't wanna. But she only did that because she couldn't prove fuck all. That's why. So that's why she needed the woman to admit her guilt by offering to pick up the thing, offering to say, "Well, yeah, all right, well, I dropped it on the floor, but it was an accident. I didn't mean to," And it's like, one of those things. Once you say that, then what they'll do, they'll use your name and your date of birth to find out who you are. And yeah. So if she, I mean, I'll probably never see this woman again, but I mean, if she gets a bill in the post, it's because she gave up her name and date of birth, But they try to do it subtly. Said, no. All we need, we're not going to give you a ticket. Oh, but we do need your name to put into the computer here, just so we can say that we spoke to you. Yeah, that's how they get your name. Said, "Oh, yeah, we date of birth." That's how. And once you're in the file, then you're fucked. But the thing is, like this woman didn't believe me at first because I told her, "Just don't say a fucking word. Don't give her your name. Don't give her your date of birth. Don't give her nothing." And immediately she says, "Oh yeah, my first initial C," and she gave. I think she gave her last name. Fine, okay, And then the bus showed up. Anyway, so that's what happened today. It's. But yeah, I was fully expecting a big row with this traffic, this little woman. And then the kid when he chest bumped me. Fucking, I'm like, what the fuck? He was like, yeah, called him big boy. Hey, big boy, take it easy, because I'm trying to, that's the thing. Sort of passively aggressive, trying to aggravate him in that front because he chest bumped me. And I'm not the kind of guy to, oh, I've seen people fall over prams in the Poundland, and they apologise to the woman with the pram. "I'm sorry, I fell over your pram," even though they've got it sprawled out in the yard. I'm not one to apologise to this kid for him bumping into me. I'll call him on it. I said, "Hey, fucking," And if he would have said, well, hey, listen, you just, just if you start mouthing off, it would have escalated to not violence straight away, but definitely a verbal. But yeah, he was apologetic, said, oh, sorry, but I don't think it was an accident. Yeah. Oh, LB, PJ. Any recent TV licensing encounters? No, I've had more letters. Oh, I've got a stack of them. I've got a dozen of them. Over a dozen. I've got them stacked up, and I was looking through them last month. But I never occurred to me. Never really sort of committed it to memory. But they've been coming in every month. Yeah, because you stack them up: December, January, February, March, April, May, June. They're all, every month, and they all say the same thing. Are you going to be around on the 24th, or a few days beyond that? They always say, "Are you going to be in on this specific date?" Or a couple of days before, or a couple of days after. It doesn't really matter because we don't know, because we just show up when we feel like it. But we just put this specific date on there just to scare you. But really, we don't know when we're going to. That's what it means when they, because why put a specific date on there? You think, oh shit, on the 14th. What's that? That's Wednesday. What am I doing Wednesday? But then it says. Anyway, so I've got a stack of those. But no, nobody. They haven't put a red card through the door in a year. What these are is just the letters. The same old letters. Your address is gone to our investigation squad. Actually, I'll see if I can get some. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. You know what? Every single one of them, except for one, says to the legal occupier of the postal address. There's only one that has my name on it. There you go, and that was 13th of August, 2025. Every other that has my name on it, and even then, it only has my initial M for Mark, Mr. M. Durant. Reason being, I think, is because I've seen this, because I like to research stuff. Everything from when I had chickens to gardening to how to dismember, a goat, for meat and stuff. Make your own bullets. I love watching that stuff, and I research the things about how to deal with traffic wardens and litter patrol, and also how to deal with the ticket, the TV license people. I fucking derailed. I was in the middle of a sentence and I've derailed. I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so I've been waiting for them to come round. That was it. I was watching one video in particular. Well, what happened was the cheeky bastard came round to the door. You know how the postman sometimes he doesn't stuff the letter into the letterbox far enough. It doesn't go through. It sticks out from the outside. What these fuckers do, they go to your letterbox. They'll pull the letter out of the letter. Look, oh yeah, so that's his name. Okay, because before we'd been put into the occupier. Right, now we know his name. Then they stuff your letter back in the thing. Next thing you know, you get a letter from the TV people, and it actually has your name on it. That's what I think's happened, because it's the only one out of 20 odd that has my name on it. Anyway, so enforcement notice, visit date, the 18th of March. Which now it's April 9. So what's that? 20. So that's 12. It's 2 weeks. 3 weeks ago, I guess. I got this. Oh, I got it in February, and it says they're going to come round on the 18th of March. No, there's no TV license at the address. The one before that, yeah, January, December. Before that was November. Before that was September, August. Yeah, so every month. Official notice. You are breaching communications. Yeah. Will you be in on the 21st of January? Because we're going to send somebody round. 10-day window. I have a 10-day window on this one. An IN0100 code has been issued against your address. We use it to target unlicensed people. Official notice. Investigation opened. Official notice. Please read carefully. You are breaching the communications stuff. Will you be in on the 11th of June? Official notice. Investigation opened. Official notice. Please read carefully. Yeah, I tell you, they all say the same thing, pretty much. Yeah, another IN0100. Will you be in on the 21st of January? They never come round. At least when I'm not in. And you figure if they come round while I'm not in, they put a note through the door. But what I want though, I want them to come round because I want to make a video. On the one hand, the best advice, just like with a ticket, with a litter picking woman, litter ticket woman, the same as the TV license people, is don't say a fucking word. Just say no, thank you. But the thing is, I'm going to have to go against my own advice in order to make a video. So, but what? Because what I've seen on videos of people open the door to the licensed people, immediately, see what the thing, they know there's not a license for the house. They know that. What they don't know is whether you have a TV or not. So, and they also don't hardly ever know your name. Or sometimes if they know the name, and they're like, when you open the door, what they'll do, they'll ask you, are you Mr. Smith? And immediately, if you say yes, bang. Now, whatever happens, you are responsible because you're the guy who owns this house. So what you just say, what can I do for you? And the thing is, what they'll do is, you ask them for their ID, and they'll be like, here's my ID. There you go. But they won't let you have it. They won't have you have a proper look. There you go. So what you do, then you've got these. You can get everything on film if it happens to you, and if they won't show you any ID, just assume that one of those. Remember when I was a kid, it used to be really big, and they used to target pensioners. You get some guy knock on the front door pretending to be from the gas board, while his mate's climbing over the fence into the garden to rob your kitchen while you're at the front. That used to happen a lot when I was a kid, especially with older people who would fall for that shit. But if that ever happens, if he won't identify, prove that he's from the TV license board, then assume that he's full of shit and don't speak to him. I will have to speak to him a little bit because I want to get an interaction on film if they ever do show up when I'm in. And what I'll do, I'll follow him down the street and basically just just to get some footage. LB, crafty bastards. Yeah, because I told the woman on the phone, I said, listen, they take courses for this. It's not like they just throw a uniform at them and a clipboard and send them out on the street, to chase people who are dropping cigarette butts on the floor. They'll be taught how to communicate with people and how to, you say this in a way, because the first thing they teach the police is take control of the conversation. You ever seen a policeman in action? They have a sense of superiority in this country. You see it in live and you see it on the TV or in videos. If you start speaking to them, they say, "Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you. No." What they're doing is they're saying, "Shut the fuck up. I'm the policeman, and I say how it's going to be." That's what they're basically saying. You start saying, "Well, no, this is not right." Say, "No, I'm not going to argue with you." But so they want to shut you down in order to push their own agenda and push their. So that's how they do. They're taught to take control of a conversation, and So as long as as long as you stick to your guns and basically just don't say anything, then there's not a lot they can. They can only do with what they can only hang you with what you give them, either the TV license, the police, or the litter people. Best thing you do is just say no, thank you. Like what I did with that woman at the train station. I told her to go away. I'm not interested in what you have to say. Go away. That's when she's, when she winked. But then I turned it because she tried to control the situation there by saying, no, I'm not going anywhere. And that fucking wink, I still, she tried to control the situation by turning it back on me, saying, oh, basically she said, yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to, I'm not going anywhere. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I want you to do whatever you do. I want you to do on camera. That's what she's saying. But then I returned it around by starting shouting, stop harassing me, please, which would have happened, that and more if this woman up the city centre today had chanced it. But she didn't. But she was, but no, she was trying to control the conversation with this woman. And that's what they do. What she was doing was trying to pretend that she was her friend. Because I told the woman, when I was talking to her on the bus, she's not your mate. The only reason why she's not chasing you for an £80 ticket is because she can't prove what she saw. She saw it. She just can't prove it. That's why she's not hassling you for your fucking debit card. Okay. Melissa Hyde. Thoughts on the Scott Mills? Can you remind me, Scott Mills? Scott Mills. I've been watching a little bit of news. I haven't been keeping up. The Scott Mills. It sounds familiar. Tom says, I took my aerial socket off the wall. Oh, you're talking about the TV. Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, that doesn't really matter to them. Because, I mean, because they know that you don't, if you don't have a license, they know you don't have a license. They know it. What they don't know is whether you have a TV or not, and that's why they'll try and invite themselves into the house. Because as soon as they see it, people on the ground, then they've got you. So that's why you don't ever let them in. I've seen videos of they'll be at the window. They'll be looking through the window. If you're on the ground floor, they'll be looking through the window. Like I've said before, you might have your kids running around the house in their underpants or, young children running around. They're looking through the window. What they're doing, they're trying to look for a television. Well, they could be looking at your children's, nakedness. But they're trying to look for a television. That's what they do. And I've seen, they chase people they've chased them back to their car. And they look themselves, Remember the time by the till? Oh, yeah. Yeah, LB, PJ. Who's that? Daisy Wazy is bonkers. I could see about 4 comments. That's the thing with the computer. I can see a whole stack of comments. Remember the time by the till in the farm foods from LB? Yeah. Oh, man. That was... sometimes I like to watch... Just for shits and giggles, I'll go back and watch certain live streams, and that was a funny one. Oh my god! I mean, when I recall, I mean, the thing is that this old guy, I mean, he had this is when we was all wearing he had the mask on, and you could see in the little bit of his eyes where he was, they talk about the eyes of the windows of the soul. You could see how fucking mad this guy was. Waving his stick around, telling me that I'm too. All I needed, right? Because I had a shopping basket full of. My arm was bloody breaking, right? Full of frozen shit, right? I had two 3-litre bottles of drink under this arm. I think, oh god, So I walk up to the till, and where the conveyor belt is, there's a metal plate where you drop your basket onto the, just short of the conveyor belt. I put the 2 bottles on that just to relieve my bicep, and then he starts going fucking mad, 0 to 60, waving his stick around, saying, "Look, you're too fucking close." And that's when I got that Kubertan out of my pocket, right? I've got it down by my side, and it was funny because there's 2 guys behind me. They see me with this in my hand, and I could hear them say, "We're going to be," and they moved to the next till. They didn't want anything that was going on back here. And yeah, that was a funny one. And then and then he's trying to get the till guy involved, and then he's trying to get the manager involved, and then he's telling me he's going to wait for me in the car park. So of course I go out in the car park. I can't see him, so I walk around the corner of the bus stop, and what happened was I'm waiting at the bus stop, and the bus came, a bus that I didn't need, came by with a police car on the other side of it driving by. So they could have been, because you never see a police car around here, you know. So I mean, when you do see one, especially, I mean, if they're driving by, you might think, oh, I wonder where they're going. But if it's you know, if you see one anything resembling slow driving or stopping, you think, oh, what's going on here? You know, there must be something going on, because you just never see them. So I mean, so the fact that there was one there, and the bus was shielding me from the police car, you know, otherwise, because I reckon they were looking for me, you know, because they happened to come from the fast foods around the corner in front of the bus stop in the same route that I just walked, you know. Yeah, I mean, that was, oh God. I tell you, like I say, I don't really sort of look for trouble. I just find it, honestly, you know. I get into confrontations. I used to get into a lot of confrontations on the bus. Oh, awkward fuckers on the bus. You know, the farm foods in my local chicken shop. Nearly had a fight with a guy in the cashier behind the till with him. And then I come out and nearly had a fucking ding dong with some clown in the street, telling me, you know, how apparently I was walking too, because he was walking very slowly and he was blocking the path, and I need to get by him. This is in the mid thing of the Chinese plague, when everybody had to stand 6 feet apart. He was starting to get mouthy because apparently I was too close. And this was actually, I was actually going to work, you know. So I had an argument with the guy behind the counter about me eating in the shop instead of out in the street. And he's mouthing off, and I'm ignoring him, and he's going, he won't leave it, right? So in the end, you know, 'cause I'm on the counter eating my food, right? So in the end, I'm shouting, manager, manager. No, I wanted the manager to come over. No. And in the end, some other guy came over, he explained, so he was being okay, so I left. Then met this other fucking goof in the street with his family hillbillies blocking the path. And that was, I'm doing like a 2 to 10, so I'm actually going, both confrontations happened on my way to work, and then I've got to go get on the bus, do an 8-hour shift. That was I just can't go anywhere. I swear to Christ, you know. Yeah, I've had arguments in the co-op, people in line, you know. Oh, you know. Yeah, but had a few words with some guy in the ATM once. You know, he thought I was talking to him. Whatever. I finished with the ATM. You know, and I've had to put people straight. You know, when you're at the ATM, and what I do, if somebody's at the machine, I'll give them 6-8 feet. Right, I'll turn. I'll be looking at the street. I'll be looking up. I know he's over here. Well, you can't see me. I know he's over here, but I'm looking over here. I don't, you know, I'm just waiting for them to finish. But other people, they'll stand like 2 or 3 feet behind you. You know, you look at, hey mate, give us a fucking space, would you? You know, and I've had that in the co-op as well, where people will stand 2, 3 feet behind you because they don't want to stand by the, you know, where the line is, at the end of the line. They'll want to come to. So as soon as you move away from they're either at the till. I got some kid, and I got his arm, pushed him back into the line once. That was yeah, the that thing. Although sometimes I do it just to be antagonising. You know that thing. Yeah, I don't see it so much anymore, but at one time it used to happen a lot over the last few years. You get some. I've spoken about this on my live stream. You get some kid on his bike. He'll show up at the door, whichever door it is, the chippy, the co-op, the corner shop. He'll drop his bike in the fucking doorway or just on the outside of and then go in the shop. So everybody's got to go, you know, they've got to climb over the bike to get into the shop. I've seen adults step over, but I've just grabbed the handle and I've launched it into the bushes. I've done that, you know, and then the kid comes, hey mate, what are you doing? Just fucking ignore them, you know, if they want to carry on, then bring it, you know. But yeah, this is kind of shit that I got to deal with. Okay, couldn't miss. Okay, what I'm doing. BBC, you're about the top of where I can see. I don't know if anybody else can read the top ones, but all I can see is that messing about with people he shouldn't have. Yeah, I don't know whether, yeah, I don't know if that's for me, but yeah, probably. I shouldn't really sort of interact with these people. LB, there was the famous KFC incident. Oh, the KFC. They, I'm trying to think. Yeah, if that's the one I'm thinking of, it's where I'm waiting for my food to be cooked. Oh man, the shop at City Centre. The shopping. It's on. I can't remember what. Anyway, there's one up the City Centre. It's next to Burger King. The worst service ever. I'm in there, right, and I'm waiting on I've done my ordering the food. I'm waiting for it to be done and handed over, and I'm looking over it, and there's a fucking one of those trannies sitting at the table. Slim guy, and you could he's got like shorts on, and there was another one in the CEX video shop as well, but this one in the Kentucky, right? He's got the shorts on and a t-shirt, and he looks like he's got a couple of fucking oranges under his t-shirt. I mean, they didn't look resembling anything real. I mean, they did look like oranges, and he wasn't very convincing at all. But what I've noticed they seem to do, these fucking weirdos, is they always hang around with a real woman. In their mind, they're thinking, oh, people will see them and think, oh, there's two women eating Kentucky Fried Chicken over there. No, people are thinking there's a woman and some fucking deviant that's sitting there, And he was less than convinced. And I'm looking at him thinking, ugh. So I made sure I sat further down because I don't want to be looking at that while I'm, I don't want to be looking at that at all, but not when I'm relaxing. And there was another one around the corner, right in the shopping centre in the CEX. What there was, it was a slim person, mini skirt, high boots up to the knee, right? Some kind of sort of flowery, flimsy top, mask again. But the mini skirt and the boots made it look female. But when your spidey senses start tingling, you think there's something wrong here. There's something, and I'm sort of looking over these shelves, and and then it occurred to me, yeah, that's a dude. There's a dude in a fucking high heels and a mini skirt, again hanging around with one or two girls. I mean, they all look young. I mean, shit, they can't have been more than 17, But again, they hang around with real girls because they figure people are thinking, oh, there's two girls over there, But no, it's one girl and one fucking fruitcake. Ugh. But no, it's it's just diabolical, And the thing is, I don't like to see it, and I just don't like to be around those types. Okay, what we got here? Anybody? If you hit the thumbs up, anybody, I suppose it helps the algorithm, but. I guess, I don't know. I'm going to have to get my channel, because I haven't been making videos in a while. My channel got demonetized. They took what they do. That's what YouTube does. If you don't use it, if you don't start putting stuff on, they just stop putting adverts on your videos. Why that is, I don't know. Because I mean, they still earn. I mean, the YouTubers like me earn bugger all. I mean, you need hundreds and thousands of clicks to get anywhere near a, oh, my nose is itching. Anywhere near a living, right? But even if the odd few pence from me and everybody else, they cancel, they stop the sorry, I'm reading and thinking and talking at the same time. So I'm I'll have to get somebody to put that back on. Jay Stevenson. What are your thoughts on the Mark Lemar Teddy Boy rumours? I know nothing about that, but I know Mark Lemar. Well, I know of him. He was in the Never mind the Buzzcocks, was it? That TV show he started on TVAM all those years ago. He was the guy that would be banging on people's door at bloody 5:30 in the morning and trying to invite him and the camera crew to come in and get everybody out of bed and get him to do stupid shit in front of the camera. And then he got his own show and Never mind the Buzzcocks. He was a funny guy, you know. I used to like that, watching his show, but I don't know anything about him. I know he had the sideburns and everything, but no, I haven't heard of him in years. I didn't know he was in the news again. You still working away, Mark? Who's that from? Brian Byrne. Working away. Oh, working away. Well, yeah. I'm trying. I went for an interview today to be a security guard. I got my license. Got it last year. It's called an SIA license, Security Industries Authority license. So I can be a doorman on a club. I can be a security guard in a co-op. In a warehouse, all this kind of shit. But yeah. Anyway, so I went for an interview. That particular gig doesn't seem like it would suit me because one, the type of thing I'd have to go through to 50 addresses every night, checking on alarms, checking on doors, checking on everything, and also driving an automatic car, which I've never driven an automatic car. They figure it's not as easy as it sounds. So they gave my name to another company who's supposed to ring me either today or tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully that'll work out. I'll be a security. Yeah. I'll get a uniform. Might get a hat. There was a security guard. Some people in Milton Keynes may know this. Must be a month and a half ago now. A security guard up the shopping centre in Milton Keynes got a knife in the neck, escorting some druggie out of the door. Come back with a knife. Yeah, he died. And it's now apparently that they're even talking about body armor for the security guards. I mean, that shopping centre's been there. Well, we showed up in Milton Keynes around about 1980. So what's that? That's 45 years ago. That's how long the shopping centre's been there. Because when we showed up, they were still laying down the floors on the marble floors. It was like weeks away from being completed. So it's been there 45 years, and it's only now, So depending on where they put me, then I've been looking on eBay. You can get body armor for like £20-30. At that price, you'd probably be better off doing a prison issue body armor, getting the phone book and taping that to your body, But what I'm thinking is, if I do get a security gig, if that works out, it depends on where they put me, depending on what the job is. If I'm dealing with something with the general public, say a security guard at the shopping centre, it won't be the shopping centre, but if I might invest in. But I was thinking probably the best stuff is to maybe go up to the police station and buy one of their used body armor. Because apparently the police body armor. I mean, it's like body armor in general. You can get body armor that deflect bullets, which won't be much useful, won't have much use here. Be more knives, slashing and possibly stabbings. But apparently screwdrivers can go through because of the narrow point. It's directed into a smaller area, whereas a knife, a wider area. But anyway, so I figure that they're bound to have some slightly damaged body armor. All you got to do is take off the police logo and, I'm good to go. So I'll give it. They might not go for it, but I mean, the police they have auctions. They normally sell shit that they've been confiscating from people, cars, bikes. I went to a police auction once. You can buy, a box full of a dozen car radios and crowbars and all kinds of shit that they've been confiscating. So you never know. But if they've got any ones that have had a stripe across, I'll just put some duct tape over it, and yeah, I've got my own baton, which they probably won't allow me to carry. But yeah, I mean, if they put me into a warehouse or something, I should be safe. But Mark Lamar was great. Who's that? That's I can't quite. E-Hot T4. It's just at the edge of where I can read it. Never mind the Buzzcocks. Saw him do a very profanity-laden live set in York 30 years ago. Very funny guy. He is, yeah. He was, yeah. I used to like him on that show. Along with that guy with the long hair, the musician. Bill Bailey. He's a funny guy as well. You don't see anything from him anymore. Liam B9. Mark Lamar was a class. Yep. Proper TV presenter. Nothing woke about him. Yeah, I tell you, he was a funny guy. It's a shame we don't see him. Well, that's the thing. I don't have a work in television, but if I mean, even seeing him on YouTube videos, I haven't seen him for years and years. Oh, Mad Maz. There you go. I recognise that name. Hi, Mark. You have a great eBay. Oh, well, thank you. You have a great eBay shop. I purchased larger. Oh, larger and life is. I think it's larger than life, and also the Scum. Yeah, the Scum DVDs from yourself a couple of years back. Yeah, I remember though. Yeah, larger than life. That was the Elephant with Bill Murray, and Scum with a very young. Oh, fuck me, I can't remember his name. But I'll tell you who's in it. You know the cat from Red Dwarf. The cat from Red Dwarf. He is in Scum, as well. He's just a little bit part, but yeah. Oh, thank you for your custom. By the way, if anybody's interested, on my what I did, I made up a mystery box which I sold on eBay, and what I did, I stuffed the box full. I filled it back up on video. I made a little video of it, so there's that, and on it, I wrote down on the card my eBay username. So if anybody's interested in all the crap that I got, but mostly DVDs. I've got some Tazos. I've got some banknotes, some foreign banknotes, foreign coins, PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3 games. Anybody's got some chickens? I've got some unused chicken jackets. The trouble is, I mean, a lot of the stuff, on the surface, it looks like they might be a bit, because what I'm doing, I'm trying to have a big clear out, and I mean, that's how I managed to buy my blender, my food mixer, my food juicer, by selling some shit and using the money to buy that. It looks like, I mean, if anything looks overpriced, it's because of the postage. That mystery box was £4.25. If you get two, use these two as examples. Say you could put one DVD in, because I've got some digital scales, so I weigh everything. You could put this in an envelope, padded envelope, and it will weigh just short of 100 grams. It will cost £1.55 postage. That's 100 grams. If it weighs 101 grams, it takes it up to £1.90. So what's that? 155, 60. So that's an extra 35p. That 1 gram can make. It's so fucking bad, right? The padded envelope that this go in, what I'll do, I'll actually trim some of the padded envelope off just to shave it down that gram, so it'd be cheaper on the postage. I don't make anything on the postage, but I just just charge what the postage is, £1.55. Or so I'll try and trim it down, trying not to put it into the next bracket of £1.90 for the postage. So yeah, DVDs, ranging from £1, sometimes a bit cheaper. I've got some of those newspaper ones as well. Some of them are good. You know, I tell you what though, those newspaper promotion DVDs, man, I've looking on eBay. They got The Good Life. Because I've been trying to watch the Good Life episodes. With Felicity Kendall. I never knew they were on those DVDs, but there's hundreds and hundreds of these ones. I've never even known they do. But yeah. That's good. So anyway, I'll get rid of that. Anyway, so yeah, my username. If you go into you go to YouTube, and instead of putting things like DVDs or postcards or T-shirts in the search bar, you put in MADUR dash 5611. It's just the name they gave me. MADUR dash 5611. Type that in there, search, and it'll bring up my shop. Everybody who buys something, they'll get one of those red cards, my business cards in the thing, and then you got bragging rights that you bought some shit from Ray Winston. Thank you. Who's that from? Daisy Wazy. Yeah, a young Ray Winston. I tell you what though, he's one of those actors. I mean, he's gone so far. I mean, when he was doing Scum, he had to be 18, no more than 20, but nearer 18. And now he's probably in his, early 60s. Christ, he's gone so far. He's gone to Hollywood. He's done loads of movies. Hot T4, Danny, John, Jules. Oh, Danny John, I guess his name is. Jules is the name of the cat. Well, it says there, Jules was the cat in Red Dwarf. Yeah, that was. I'll tell you what, though, you want to see some. You know how the Americans fuck things up. All right, Red Dwarf is another one. The Office is another one. Fawlty Towers is another one. They've actually what they did. The Americans decided to make their version of Red Dwarf, and what they did, basically, they made they took the English storylines and changed them from American, for the American actors and audience. But basically, you're watching the thing, and what they did, they took Crichton, the robot guy, Robert Llewellyn, brought him over. He was the one crossover. They figured, well, we'll get one of the original guys in, and it was absolute shit. Let me tell you. You know how, and I was explaining to somebody years ago that you watch English comedies, right? Sure, sometimes they'll have a laughter track, or a lot of the time they'll do it in front of an audience, so you get a real reaction. Fawlty Towers is one, for example. The Office. They act and do things, and they do it in a funny way. It's a subtle kind of funny. Okay, you have to observe, you have to watch it, you have to understand it. You think, that was clever, that was funny. The American is, they need a you watch it in Friends as well. They need a funny quip every 15, 20 seconds. You watch it. You watch any show, that they'll have their dialogue. The guy come home from work, the wife's cooking the dinner, the kid's over there on the couch doing the homework. They're having an interaction. The neighbor shows up. There's the mother-in-law shows up. There's a 2, 3, 4, 5 people in a scene, and there's a one-liner every 20 seconds, because that's all they know how to do. That they can't think of something funny, so they have to think of something stupid, but something what they consider funny every 20 seconds. Whereas the English version of anything is Alan Bastard is a good example. The New Statesman. Whereas was it Alan Rickman? No, not Alan Rickman. Yeah. Well, he played Vivian in The Young Ones. Was it Alan Rickman? No, it wasn't Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman, I think, was the guy from Die Hard, I think. Who am I thinking of? The guy from Alan Bastard. Rick Mail, thank you. Hot T4, Rick Mail. You watch Rick Mail in the New Statesman. He'll get a laugh. There was one scene in particular, and they were doing a little documentary on this, where he's in his office and his flunky little buddy was talking, and Rick Mail had his back to the guy. He was looking out the window, and he's had his back to us. And his flunky was saying, I inherited some money, and my dad, my auntie died, and she left me £50,000, £50,000, and what they were saying on the program was, I got the script and I looked at it, and the thing was, I was supposed to react on £50,000. But he said, no, I can get 3 laughs out of this by basically just, remember, you're looking at the back of the head, just the up to, whoa, 50. Oh, I've just heard something that's interesting. You look at the back of the head and you get a fucking laugh because bang, he's not. He doesn't give a shit what this guy's saying, but 50 blah 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 blah, £50,000. That got a laugh. Then a simple turn. Oh, tell me more. Gets another laugh. Then he turns around. Right. Well, how am I going to screw you out of this money? Gets another laugh. He said, yeah, I looked at the screen. There was 1 laugh. I turned it to 3 or 4 laughs. Just the raise of an eyebrow, the turn of the head, the lifting of the head. I've just heard something interesting. That's the difference. You don't see that on American shows. They have to go for the one stupid line. Somebody says something, somebody else has to say something, a funny quip. Which is why English comedy is so much better, because you can have a simple, Stephen Fry said it once. He was talking about the difference between American and English humor in House Party. Well, Animal House, the American college. You got Jim Belushi. They're all having a party, toga party. And what it was. There's some guy, they're all boozing up. There's a load of people on the stairs, or a load of hippies getting fucking wasted, and one of them's twanging away on the guitar, twang, 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 kumbaya. And Jim Belushi comes along, takes the guitar out of the hand, and smashes it against the wall, and then hands him back the this crumpled up bloody thing. That was the joke. And he said, the difference is they gave the big star, Jim Belushi, the idea, the job of smashing the guitar, because apparently that's funny. The English version would be to have the person that you're supposed to be looking at as the guitar player, because as the person who's been wronged, you've got so much more material. Because if you're the guy smashing the thing, you smash it, there you go, and you bugger off. If you having the guitar taken from you, then you smash it, oh shit, and then you get given the fucking rubble of this guitar. Oh my god! And then you've got all the people being mesmerized. You've got so much more to work with. He said the English actor would want the victim in that scenario, because you've got so much more to do. That's the difference. Anyway, and that's my little rant. Liam, I didn't mind MASH or Cheers, but even they don't come close to any proper British sitcoms. Indeed, yeah. MASH. Yeah, I like MASH. Well, I like the movie better. That song, that Suicide song is, oh man, that is so. Apparently, the director's director's young son wrote that. That's how the story goes. Suicide is painless. Yeah, that had a mixture of both. That had the comedy, the dark humor. You're dealing with death every day. I've heard this. I met a mortician once years ago, and he said, "Oh yeah, you either laugh or you fucking cry doing that kind of work." It's that's why they're that morbid. And Cheers. Yeah, again, Cheers is one of those things where it's all dialogue. Somebody says something and there's a funny comeback. From what I remember of Cheers, I used to watch a lot of episodes. there is no instances that spring to mind where somebody will get a laugh with an expression. Somebody does something, and like just an idea that's popped into my head. Faulty Towers with John Cleese. There's one that there's a tough upper class guy who Basil Fawlty thinks that this customer is from the hotel board, looking at, making sure things are being going, the hotel guide. So he's sucking up to this guy, and he's going along, and he's pulling, he's got the bottle of wine, and he's pulling this thing, he's pulling it away, and then he's getting the bottle of wine, he pours it, and then he's, what the hell? The cork's still in there. So, and there's a gag right there. Where do you see that? You wouldn't see that on any other show. Whereas normally you'd pull the cork, pour the wine. There'll be a funny thing about the wine. Oh, it's warm. It's gone stale. There's some cork in it. But the fact that the cork he's pouring it, and he can't figure out why there's nothing coming out the bottle, And then he has to go back in. Just occurred to me that's one of the differences. It's a simple thing. That whole scene, right? You've got the gag of pulling the cork. He's having trouble. Then half the cork comes off, but it's still in the bottle. So you've got the pulling. That's one gag. The cork breaks. That's two. He goes to pour the wine. That's three. He's wondering why nothing's coming out. That's four gags. Then he realizes it. And then he has to, so there's like 4 or 5 gags there. There's very little dialogue and then waiting for a comeback. It's all situation. One of my favorite ones is from Fawlty Towers is the guy and his wife and his son. The little son was the little son. Where Fawlty, he says, oh dear, the kid's complaining about his food. He says, oh dear, what is the wrong shape? Oh, what would you? I've actually done this line at work, and he got. What shape would you like? Mickey Mouse shape, Smarty shape, amphibious landing craft shape. That scene, The whole episode was this guy wanting a gin and orange, a glass of wine, and an orange cordial for his son. The whole episode of this guy not getting what he wants. And at the very end, the very last words of the thing, after Fawlty's done all his running around doing his thing, the guy comes out, but the last minute of the show was a gin and orange, cordial, and he grabs him by the arm and marches him to the table. Right, sit down. Right, I'm coming out. Right, bang. There's the tray. Right, there's a bottle of whiskey. Help yourself. Right, there's crisps. Right, don't bother me. Right, take it. Situation. It's not it's the dialogue as well, but it's the situation. I mean, where else would you get away with grabbing a customer and marching him to the table and telling him to shut up, don't move, here's the bottle of whiskey, have as much as you, just don't bother me anymore. Anyway, yeah, but that's the difference. They only made a dozen or so episodes. Not even that, I don't think. Yeah, it was very few episodes. Now you've got to, they'll milk a sitcom to death over years. You don't get ones that will just do a small amount and leave you wanting more. That's why the Fawlty Towers is so. If they'd have carried on Fawlty Towers and done it for 5 years, 5, 6 seasons, like everything, it starts to, the writing gets a bit lax and it goes downhill, and then you start remembering, geez, yeah, I remember when it used to be good, but for me, no, it stopped when it was good, and then you go back. I mean, I want to say 75 to 79, so there's 45 years. By the way, the name, Hot T4. By the way, the name's Dave. Yeah, right. Yeah, because sometimes people don't put their. I was going to say, unless it's Melissa Hyde, they put their real name in the name. Not a lot of people do. Old Boggy. Oh, Melissa Hyde. Old Boggy is the best sitcom character of all time. Oh man, yeah. I'll have to whip out. Oh yeah, Old Boggy. The oh man, that was the flack that I got for Old Boggy. Jesus. The it was funny because yeah. Well, what I did. I mean, I did it for a specific reason. It was to show that the work because people can lose their minds over this. Um, I put an old boggy face to show that the Earth isn't going to end. Meteor didn't hit the Earth. We're all still alive, But people lose their shit. It's because they feel it necessary to join the crowd. The crowd says it's wrong. The crowd says it's racist. So I guess I must have the same opinion. I say fuck them. And yeah, I mean, the first time I'd done it, I'd done a bunch of them. The first time I'd done it, I had people leaving, but they come back because they can't get enough of Mark's remarks. Good stuff, good video. Anyway, but I don't know. Some came back. Okay. Oh dear. I can, dear me, I've got to get some new glasses. I can barely. The writing's so small on the phone over here. All right. Who's that? O.E. in Smith. Like only fools and horses should have stopped when they got the millions. Ah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, they found some vase or some shit, and they managed to get a couple of millions, some millions. Yeah, and I think after that they started. There was, I think they buy a speedboat or something. But that's the thing. I mean, there would have been a limit to how far they could have gone. I mean, they did the forever. You know what really ruined it for me was when Cassandra, Rodney's girlfriend, when she showed up, that started to go downhill. But when Del Boy married that woman and had a kid, it just didn't seem, the same. I mean, I guess the writers, they wanted to progress their story, but and yeah, it's good because the thread that went through every episode was one day we'll be millionaires. One day we're going to make it, and then they made it big. So what the fuck do we do now? So yeah, you kind of sort of cut it right there. I don't know how far they went after that, but yeah, in my opinion, yeah, when they once they get what they want, or once they get what they strived for to be millionaires, what are you going to do? Have Del Boy and Rodders living it up in a big mansion? No, that isn't their character. They're two schmoes who live in a council flat. Um, what's that? That I can't quite read that. Post to your community page. Thanks. I can't see the top bit of that. Actually, I wonder if I. Oh, there you go. That service official. That if you cannot type one, please end. What? If you cannot type one, please end this live immediately and add an apology post to your commit. What? I don't understand what that is. Failure to take action will result in a channel strike. Oh, what? Wait a minute. YT chat service official. If if you cannot type one, please end this live stream immediately and add an apology post to your community page. Thanks. I don't understand what that is. Type one what? Oh, wait a minute. All right. I missed it, right? YouTube chat services official. Hello, we are contacting you regarding community guideline breaches. You have 20 minutes to reply with your justification. Type 1 to find out more. Thanks. Regarding community guideline breaches. I have no idea what I've said that was so. If you cannot type 1, please end the live stream. Failure to take action will result. Yeah. Hot says something smells bull in these YouTube messages. Yeah. That sounds like a lot of shit. I think somebody's just made up a name, you know. I mean, ages ago, when I was talking about when the Rodney, was it not Rodney King? Who's that other fucking deadbeat? Who's that black guy that who did the world a favor, got himself killed and started off them riots? He was the they did the murals. Anyway, I was talking about the riots and talking about how they should be on the rooftops of the shops, defending their shops by shooting the looters. Yeah, that the live stream got cancelled for that. That was a while back. So this, I think, this is bullshit. I think somebody's just fucking around. Daisy Wazy, what's the problem with the computer? How big a job to fix it? Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I just it was working 1 minute, then it stopped, and I typed it because normally what happens is if you're on your computer and you don't use it for a while, what it does, it goes onto standby mode. So you got to put in your password, right? I come back and it wasn't working. Typed in even the password wasn't working. It says it's not connected to the internet. That's it. Yeah, internet connection is not connected. Only my phone here can be connected to the internet, although it's wireless. The phone here, whereas the computer is actually connected to the box, which is connected to the wall. But no, I didn't do anything. I just came back out of the bath and stopped working. So yeah, I'll have to get somebody round to fix it. It's a pain in the ass, you know. See, hot. Actually, I think, what was it, Dave? But I'll call you. I'll call you Hot unless you change the name. I'll call you Hot there if give you a shout out. I can't remember people's names. I think it's Dave. It was the Harrison H6 watch by the watchmaker that won the. Oh, you talking about Fools and Horses? Was it? So it was the Harrison H6 watch by the watchmaker that won the longitude prize. Oh, if that's what the in Fools and Horses, I was. Smythe 6868. It's a scam. Yeah, I think you're talking about the YouTube. Yeah, I think they're full of shit. I think it's somebody just messing about. It's a scam, Mark. They post. Yeah, service official. You have the right to appeal. Yeah. Thing is, I got there's George C, who's not here. I don't think today is one of the officials. How do I don't know how to block it from. Yeah, if he was here, he could probably block it. Yeah, I think they're just. You have the right to appeal. End this immediately and check. Yeah, I think. Yeah, fuck off. YouTube doesn't contact a streamer via chat in a live stream. Just some bullshitter. Indeed. Yeah, I've actually had that before. But when I first started the channel, I had people. What they used to do was find out who is, in your comments a lot, and then start up a channel with their name. So then they would start writing stuff. So you would think that it was the other person. I used to get that a lot when I started. Yeah, it's amazing actually. I remember when I first started, it was 2000. I was going to say 1917, 2017. And when I first started, the amount of because whatever I think there's people who find brand new YouTubers, and the amount of shit that they used to write on the comments and in the live streams, or on the comments especially, on the regular videos especially, unbelievable. But now I don't even get them. Um, I looked through the profiles on my channel once, and I think I must have had about 30 plus people that I've blocked. I think a lot of them was. I think my brother was doing it actually for a while. Because he's the type to do it. I think he was starting up channels and then writing comments like that, knowing that if he got blocked, he'd just make a new one up. I think that was him because he's the type. But a lot of people, but yeah, I just I don't get any really bad ones anymore. Although and it doesn't affect me. I mean, when you first start the channel, you think, oh shit, I could do without the abuse and stuff like that, because you're just starting up, you don't know anything. But if they do, I just ignore it, or a lot of people actually write sometimes. Occasionally, you get one that's not particularly complimentary, but just leave it on there. It doesn't bother me. It's a scam. Scotty B. Scotty. Yeah, you've had several names, haven't you? Scotty B8. You've had Scotty B before. Gillis. Scott Gillis, I think. Is that your real name? You've got a channel where sometimes that comes up. Is that you? Scott Gillis. Yeah. Here he is, Mr. Oh boy, oh boy. Let me tell you. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Scotty B, if you've missed it, I've about 20 minutes before I went live, which was 92 minutes ago. I got myself a food in there as well. That'd be interesting. Carrot juice. I like carrot cake, but I don't know. Anyway, so you put your fruit in and it mushes it up and the juice comes flying out. Anyway, so I did a video on that. That's with grapes. Still got another one to do with a pineapple. I've got another one to do with apples, and then I'll do one with oranges. So, and then I've got to look for stuff like pears and whatever else. So, yeah, check that out. Let me know what you think. Not now, but when I'm finished. Yeah, just ignore it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. See now that they're making it obvious that they're full of shit. YouTube service official. It says boring. Yeah. Yeah, you see. Now it's official. If you wanted to convince anybody who was daft enough to believe it, you wouldn't put that on there because that's not a professional thing that I am. They're not very professional sometimes at YouTube. I get flagged now and again for content, and I've actually wrote back to them. When my tomato plant videos. Some of you regulars, if you type in, write down a bit of paper and look at it later. Mark's Remarks tomato plant. Have a look at those. They got, one of them got flagged, and I wrote back to the YouTuber. I said, I wrote something like, say, look, why don't you fucking kids find somebody over the age of 40 in your office and then have them review the video and just leave people like me alone and stop, basically told them stop fucking around and leave me alone. That's the kind of thing I write to them. They never write back, That's so yeah. I mean, even that. So they're not exactly sort of professional down their end, but when you put something like that, that just proves it. So you may as well just You know, once George C shows up, he'll probably get you to probably block you. I don't know which one of my buttons blocks. I don't think I can. I don't know. See, before there used to be some buttons on the side here. You could anyway. Anyway, but you will be blocked. So just keep on the comments. Service official guy. George Floyd, thank you. Yeah. Smythe. George, may he rot in hell, Floyd. George, fuck him and anybody who looks like him, Floyd. George, who did himself a flavour, did the world a favour and died, Floyd. That guy. Yeah, it was during those riots when they're breaking in the shops, burning places down. Some of the them Vietnamese, they don't fuck around. They're out in the street popping away down with the handguns. And I said that just drop a few of the rioters. Yeah, the rest of them will scatter. George Floyd. Yeah, luckily we don't hear much about that clown anymore. I'll tell you what though, if because I mean, that fucking dozy black guy from the Star Wars. He's English. Oh, he played the stormtrooper, the one who was a stormtrooper, and then he turned to the rebel, turned good. Can't remember his name. Yeah, he did a rally in England, talking about George Floyd and how well, So yeah, if they ever did any murals around here, I'll be the first one to go there around there with a can of paint, disfigure that fucking bullshit. But that's the thing. I've got a white wall behind me, a white t-shirt on, and white writing, so I have to move my face in front of the word to be able to have it a darker background against the white writing. That's why I'm moving about. MX, you talk for the people. Indeed, thank you very much. Yeah, I just I tell it like it is. I try not to have too much of a filter. And the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's the way I like it. It kind of gets me in trouble sometimes, because like I was saying earlier about that with the woman up the shopping centre getting harassed by the litter people. I just see things, I see things like that, and I have to speak. I just can't help myself. I see, and I was thinking about something funny today. 30 years ago, 35 years ago, when I worked at Tesco, I think I mentioned before my nickname in the warehouse, because there was like 200 guys, 150, 200 guys, and there was a small group of a dozen people who we used to go out drinking together. We had nicknames. Mine was Murdoch. We had Rabbit. We had Pugsley with Bubbles. Them two were brothers. Moose. We had Hightower. Hightower was this big black guy. He must have been about 6'4". His feet were so big that when you got the back of the shoe, you had to fold the heel down of the shoe to get so that he basically wore his shoe like slippers. His feet were that big. Hightower, Scat Man. He was because he was an alcoholic. He was scatty as hell. He went to the Philippines once, and he was like, be up there, like, yeah, them lady boys, man. You go to the bar. It'd be like looking at a imaginary TV screen. Them. You go to the bar, you can't tell who's who. You got lady boys running around and what? Yeah, he's reenacted up in the Scat Man. Yeah, Mr. Blobby, Cookie. Yeah. Anyway, so you know what? It's a troll. Yeah. I've done it again. Because I'm tired. I'm not drunk because I haven't been drinking today. I was talking about the nicknames, and I got derailed. I'm in the middle of a thing, and I derail. I mean, what the fuck am I talking about? You know. It'll probably come to me in a minute when I'm in mid through half another sentence. You know. Yeah. Anyway, MX talking to people. Yeah. It Yeah, I try and keep it as real as I can. Yeah, I don't like bullshitting. You know, I just I'm really not a PC person. You know, I don't use words like What gets me is passed away. When somebody says, "Oh yeah, my mum passed away," no, she did. She fucking died. You know, you passed away. Passed away for dead. You know, is it's a desanitized word. It makes it sound better. It's like I've said before. Um, Domestic violence. When I was a kid, it was wife beating. Now they call it domestic violence. Um, Mass murder. It's genocide. Then it was even cleaner than that. It was ethnic cleansing. Yeah, cleansing the ethnicness of a country. It's not mass murder anymore. You know. All these sanitized words. I just don't. You know, if you know, the man died. You know, I mean, what are you gonna do? He didn't pass away. Pass away. Yes. What the fuck? No, I'm not a PC person. You know, the times I've described somebody as, let's say, black, for example. If somebody says, "Oh, have you? Where can I go to see?" Yeah, you see those three fellas over there. You got the. You see the black fella in the middle. The three guys is the black one. You want the black one? Jesus, he said black. Fuck, you know. No, you know, when I used to work in an office, I used to work in the goods inn, and we have to deliver parcels upstairs. You go to somebody and you'd say, yeah, "Listen, have you seen? I'm looking for Joe Schmo. I've got a box for him." There'll be, yeah, you see that there'll be three people way down there. Yeah, you see yeah, he's wearing a blue shirt and he's got a watch on his left. Yeah, you see him, and he's got they'll do anything to say, not to say the black man. You know, they'll describe the three of them wearing blue shirts. But, oh yeah, it's a blue shirt. Oh, you see, yeah, there you go. He's rubbing his hair. Yeah, that what? Yeah. As long as they don't say the black man, because I've said to them, "Oh, there's two white people in the black man." Just fucking say it how it is. Ugh, saving a lot of time. Scotty B says, "I remember when Mark face painted his face, it got took down." Actually, no, did he really? Actually, you might be right, because I've had a couple of them taken down. If it was taken down, then it's probably one that I would have wrote to them, because I've done that in the past when they've taken a video or two down. Oh, Brains Faggots. I did a review on Brains Faggots, which are, for those who don't know, Brains is the company name, the Brains Company. Could be the family name of it, but the company name is Brains. Faggots is the name of a meatball in gravy. I bought that, cooked it, reviewed it. It tastes nasty as all hell. And I did a review. They fucking took that down. They either took it down or demonetized it. One of the two. And I wrote to them saying, "Look, you dozy bastards. Fucking Brains Faggots is the name of the fucking food. You know?" But no, they took it down because of the word faggots. Apparently you can't, you know, I didn't make up the name. It was it's been going forever. It's been going longer than I've been alive, you know? But yeah, if they've taken one down because of the face paint, it's quite likely. If they did it would have been a while back, and it's one of those I would have written to them. That's how bad my English is getting. I would have written to them, or wrote to them, saying how a bunch of shitheads they are. That's why I've done that. You know, say, look, you know, you're a bunch of kids. Find somebody who's 40 years old and have them review the thing. I've already wrote in the title. It's not blackface. It's an old bogey. It's a TV character who's in TV shows and whatnot. You know, I never get any replies. You know, but that's what I do, and I tell them that they're a bunch of useless twats. You know, just so they get the message. But they just don't. They don't reply back. But you know, if that don't get me in trouble, I don't know what will. But they never do anything about it. My choice of name calling to them. Uh, okay, Daisy Wazy, set up a hotspot in your phone and contact the computer by. Yeah, see, I don't know shit. I don't know how to do set up a hotspot. Um, I mean, the thing is, there's only certain things I can do on the phone. You know, I mean, it's you know what? It was only 2-3 months ago that I figured out how to take. I mean, I could take a photo on the phone. It's only like 3 months ago that I figured how to send that photo via email. You know, I knew people could do it. I just didn't know how to do it. Now I do it all the time. But yeah, no, it's so it's great. You can. It's like when I've been replying. Like I take photographs of my security guard license and stuff like that. I can send that via email. Yeah, 3-4 months ago, I had no idea how to do that before. Honestly, I don't know shit. So set up a hotspot on your phone and connect to the computer. Actually, I don't know how to do that. So that's why I have to get somebody. Liam, Mark, are you taking requests for future reviews? Yeah, if anybody's got any ideas, great. Send them in. Yeah, start a conversation in the comments. It's all good. I've recently started. Oh, there you go. Recently started bodybuilding and would love some quick, cheap protein ideas. Right. Well, I tell you what. I mean, the thing is, when I was training, tuna and eggs were the cheapest thing going. I mean, they're the best things. Now, actually, if you go to Lidl's, I'll buy 10 or 15 cans at a time because I have them on my potato. I'll have them on sandwiches. Tuna. That is, I'm talking about. They got 3 or 4 different brands, but the cheapest one's 55 pence. And I tell you what, though, the way I work it out is, say 55. To get down to Lidl's, I've got to buy an all day ticket is £6.60. A return is I don't know, probably half that. The way I figure it is, say for example, tuna. If I get on the bus down to Lidl's, can of tuna, 55p. If I walk to the local co-op, it's like 85p. So that's a difference of 30p. So if I buy 10 cans of tuna from Lidl's, I've saved myself 10 times 30p, £3. That is like half of a day ticket of £6.60. So if I buy 10 cans of tuna, I've already saved my money. So I've already recouped half my bus ticket. Then if I go for the 28 pence tin of beans, the shop brand Savers or everyday brand or whatever the fuck they call it, 28p, as opposed to 68p in the co-op. So there's a difference of 40p. So difference of 30, 40p. So all I've got to do is buy 10 cans of tuna, 10 cans of beans, and then I've recouped the cost of what the bus ticket costs. And then I go in and I fill up my trolley full of, rice, uh, uh, pasta sauce, pasta, cans of tomato to go with the pasta, I'll go over there to the other thing and I'll buy a couple of jars of mayo and ketchups and any other, stock cubes for the casseroles and all that shit. That's how I work that out. I think, right, okay, well, I got the expense of the bus ticket, but by buying the bus ticket, all I got to do is buy 10 cans of tuna, 10 cans of beans, recoup my money, and everything else is money saved rather than going to the local co-op. And I tell you, but that's what you do. You buy shop brands. All right, if you're take request if you. But it was love to see quick, cheap protein ideas. Yeah, well, all right. So that's what you do. Protein, tuna, beans, milk, eggs. Eggs are not the cheapest. I like milk, strawberries, and banana. Says Amanda. Hill. Oh, because that just popped up at the top there. Yeah. You see, so you just go for shop brands. And the thing is, I used to tell my brother Carl years ago, I'd go to the shop and buy the 20p tin of tuna, 20p tin of sweet corn. He'd go buy the Green Giant for 60p. I think, oh, I can get 2.5 cans for the same price as your one. What the fuck? How badly can they fuck up a tin of sweet corn? How badly can they fuck up a tin of peas, a tin of carrots, a tin of tuna? You know, beans. All right. The difference is in the sauce. Okay, the difference between a 28p bean tin and a £1 something tin of Heinz beans is the sauce. They use the same. You read the ingredients. They use the same haricot beans. It's the sauce. Now, what I've done, when I've shown this on my cookery video, you get your cheap ass tin of 28p beans, put them in the pan, squirt some ketchup in there. You know, if you've got any of those sachets you whip out from a restaurant somewhere, put them in there, or put a squeeze of ketchup in there. That's all you do. You turn a cheap tin of beans into a fruit, more tomato-y tin of beans. So, to answer your question, tuna, beans, milk, eggs, and then of course you've got your protein powders. Or they can run expensive. But what you can do is you can actually buy tubs of egg white powder. That's what they do in the catering business. You can actually buy those. You put those in your milk instead of eggs, because eggs, unless you can put the whole eggs in there, but what you want is the white for the protein. But then you've got the side effect of having the yolks. The yolks taste good, but you might not want all of them in there. But you can, off of eBay, I've done it. You buy, I can't remember, what were they, 10 kilos or something? You can buy buckets of egg white powder. So you get your milk, you put the egg powder in the milk, you put your bananas, you put your ice cream, whatever else. In fact, if you go onto my type in Mark's Remarks protein shake, I've done a couple of videos. There's a couple of videos of me making the milkshakes that I used to drink in my training days. So there's a few ideas there. Mark's Remarks protein shake. Put that in the search bar. But yeah, make your own milkshakes. I used to go for the thing of buying the powders. They're expensive as all hell. They got a lot of good stuff in it, but basically you're paying over the price for what they are. I mean, it's basically fucking milkshake powder, high density milkshake powder. Just make your own milk. Put in as many eggs as you want, 3 to 6 raw eggs. Put them in there. Put some bananas in there for the flavour. Put some ice cream in there to kill the taste, to make it creamy, make it cold. You can put instead of bananas, you can put strawberries. I've done that. You can put other fruits in there, and then if you want to, I used to put powder in there as well. Yeah, don't buy the powders. Make your own. Mark's Remarks protein shakes. Take a look at those. Blue Star. Hello to you. Welcome to the channel. Actually, blimey, look at all the. I'm way back on the. I'll try and get. Who's that? Who's sending me texts? Oh, I swear to Christ, almost every day I get these. Our records indicate you could be owed up to £2,487.00 in a missold car finance deal, Almost every day I get one of these. I actually get people, that's a text that they sent me, but I've actually had phone calls every other day. 3 times a week. Yeah, listen, our records show that you you owed some money for a missold. I say, listen, I've never taken car insurance. Ever. I've only owned 2 cars in my life. One of those 3-wheelers, Mini Clubbin? No, Robin Reliant, that was it. It was Del Boy's car, it's a 3-wheeler I bought. And Ford Fiesta, It was, yeah, I've never taken finance, but they're still convinced that according to their records. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Jordan Talk Sport. Hello to you. Welcome to the thing, the channel. Hot says, I had one of those juices for a while. Cleaning the bugger was a swine. Yeah, I tell you what, when I finished with the grapes, that's the first video, Mark's Remarks juicer review. The inside of it was a train wreck, man. It was all the juice came out. It was really good, but all the skin was like. But I tell you, as easy as what I did, I took a spoon, scraped it all out, slung it in. You can compost that stuff or throw it in the bushes. It'll rot down. It'd be good. But it was easy to clean. For anybody who watches the video, that round thing with a blade inside with a wire mesh going, that was the hardest bit to clean. But everything else was a breeze. Yeah, but that was the grapes. It made a hell of a mess. So I'm thinking, because apples have got a harder skin. Is a harder density fruit. So I'm thinking, I don't know. We'll see if it's any better. Daisy Wazy, apple, carrot, spinach, and celery. That's a healthy, tasty juice. Are you sure? Did you just make all that up? Apple, yes. Carrot, yeah, maybe. All right. Spinach, I don't know. Celery, oh dear. I've actually eaten. Well, I took a mouthful. I took a bite of a celery once. It's it's like crunchy nothing. It's like it doesn't taste of anything. It's just crunchy, nasty. Ugh. But yeah. I'll probably look at some YouTube videos, see what people are blending out there. But the thing is, the way I see it is, it's like like when I used to make different concoctions of different meats, different cheeses, different chutneys, different vegetable. Everything in a sandwich. It may look strange, but my philosophy was, if you like, Joey said it on Friends once, about some kind of mince pudding. If you like mince, you like pudding. What's not to like? You didn't think you don't put the two together. But I say, if you like one thing, you'll like something. Why not put them together? So yeah, that's why apple and orange and pineapple go well together. Apple and grapefruit, I think. Well, basically different fruits. Because if you buy it from a carton, your apple and orange, or apple and pineapple. It's like 90% is one fruit. The rest of it is all, basically colouring and a bit of flavour, because the cheaper. I think it's apple is the most cheapest one. It's probably because we can grow that here. Oranges and pineapples and grapefruits, we can't really grow here. So that's why they put that as 2% and 95% apple, So yeah, most fruits go together. So yeah, I'm going to be doing some experimenting, and I'll make some videos on them. Hot T4 stream has buffered a couple of times in the last couple of minutes. I haven't noticed it on my end, but oh, look at that! I've got 12 likes already. The thing is, Jesus, I haven't been going for 2 hours. 119 minutes, which is 2 hours. Fucking hell, it's flown by. What it does, it tells me that 12 people are watching, 13 people have liked, but it doesn't tell me how many downs. It just doesn't. It's same as on the regular videos, cookery videos or whatever I'm doing. It doesn't tell me how many down. Which in the old days they used to do that. It used to be useful. Okay, Abdul Qadir. I am Abdul Jadir, 20 years old and very lazy about my future career because of so many career interests. Can you motivate me with two? Can you motivate me with two sentence? Oh, motivate you in two sentences. I don't know. Well, as an old guy, if you're 20 years old, like you say, my advice, for what it's worth, from a 55-year-old who's been around a few years, my basically find something that you like. I mean, I've heard this before, something similar before. Find something that you like doing and seeing if people will pay you to do it. You know, uh, it could be painting, it could be music, it could be sculpting, it could be anything. If people are willing to pay you to do it and you like doing it, you know, that's the key. And also, as a if I could tell my 20-year-old self, or even my teenage self, learn a skill. Otherwise you're doomed to be fucking working in warehouses or doing some shitty dead end fucking shit ass job for the rest of your life. Learn a skill, okay? Learn how to turn a plank of wood into a table. That skill you can take across the planet. You can go to other countries, you can do anything you like. Learn how a combustion engine works. That's the skill that you can basically, you don't even need to carry anything in a suitcase. It's in your head. Woodwork, metalwork, car mechanics, these things are skills that any country will, or anybody from any country will pay you to do. Um, if you know your way round an electrical switchboard, if you know how to put the lights on, if you know how to weld to a high degree of competency, these are skills that you can have in your head. You can go to another country, pick up the tools. You can pick up a spanner, you can pick up a wood saw, you can pick up a welding torch. You don't have to carry these things with you. Same as, I mean, not as useful, less useful would be to learn an instrument. You know, if you go abroad, if you know how to play the guitar, not busking style, they're fucking useless. You see a busker out there, it's like they're practicing out on the street. A lot of them don't have any skill. They're just below mediocre, right? And they're using the street as a practice area. No, if you're of a high degree of musical ability, you can play the guitar, play the piano. You can take that skill. You can go abroad. Somebody will pay you to play them a tune. You go into a restaurant, you go into a bar, you can, you can go into someplace, play the piano, exchange that skill for anything, cash, room and board, a meal. You could travel around with that skill. So, for what it's worth, while you're young, learn a skill. Find out something you're interested in. If you're not interested in the combustion engine, it's too greasy, too dirty, too complicated, do something else. Do woodwork, learn an instrument, metalwork. Have I don't know, maybe not be a doctor, but have a high degree of competency in the medical industry. You know how to fix a broken bone. You may not work in a hospital, but if you can fix a bone, if you can fix a broken bone, fuck me, that's worth its weight in gold. If you go abroad, go one of those. If you were the type of person, which I'm not, but if you wanted to go to, say, somewhere like Africa or somewhere, those skills are like gold. You know, um, you get to see the world. If you're that, you get to see the world. You've got a skill that is tangible, and you can trade for goods and services with that. I don't know. So there's my nugget of advice for a 20-year-old. Find something interested in doing. Learn everything about it. Get to a high standard, and then the world is your oyster. You can go. You don't have to fucking stay in England in this shithole with the weather and shit food and fucking arseholes running the country and get taxed to death. We're going to overrun with foreign. We've got all kinds of problems. Other countries got their own problems, but you got the opportunity to go abroad. So there you have it. It's my 2 cents worth. Jordan talks sport. I'm new here. Aha. Well, welcome, Jordan. Hot T4. The police officer in that incident is still in prison. Man should have been given a meal. I think I may have missed. Oh, and he's put under a medal. The man should have been given a medal. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you're talking about George Floyd in that incident is in prison. Yeah, I think you're talking about George Floyd. Yeah, I tell you what, that is the biggest. How that poor bastard is still in prison after all the evidence that came out, the fucking video footage that was doctored. They put out the doctored, altered footage, and then after a while, the real footage came out showing how it was all full of shit and the policeman wasn't doing anything wrong. It came out that George Floyd was high as a kite on drugs. His criminal history with robbing a woman housebreaking. He was fucking. The police were on him then for passing counterfeit notes and dodgy. Was it notes he was passing? And then it goes to court. Of course, the jury's full of black people who they're looking to fucking hang the white guy anyway. After it was all done, one of the black jurors, this old woman, came out onto the TV and says, "Yeah, well, she said he was, no matter what happened, she was going to have him, he's going to be, guilty because of something, I can't remember the exact wording, but it's to do with, we owe the white people something after, all the black people have been getting it in the neck for so many years, which strikes me as a bit of, ungrateful bastards when you consider what they would be doing if they hadn't been brought over on them boats. They'd still be in hot ass Africa, running around in grass skirts, trying to chase down wildebeest for dinner. But they got something to complain about living in America, right? But yeah, that woman said that she was going to have that put a guilty thing in there no matter what. And they still didn't say, right, overturn it. Obviously, they were biased. Who we got here? R.M. Gandhi. Billy Tummy. War Ready. Oh, War Ready. I recognise that name from a while back. Someone said you want to be a Muslim. Man. Mind you, it couldn't hurt. It doesn't pay to be a white man in this country anymore. So, what we got here? Oh, message retracted. Great to see Henry Crypto. Great to see you again, Mark. Thank you very much for joining. Red belly, tummy, yes, tummy. That's LB. Be careful though, Mark. Things are different to when you used to go live. Ah, yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, YouTube used to be the place for free speech. Not anymore. You're sort of like restricted on what you can say. even, I mean, I like watching those. There's a few. I can't think of their names. That big guy with a beard. He chases down paedophiles. His name's Rosen, Alex Rosen. I can't think of his YouTube channel, but him and there's a few others. You know, the amount of censorship goes on. It's like YouTube are protecting the child molesters. God forbid that they should be, filmed while being arrested and caught out and made accountable for their actions. No, whatever happens, we don't want people putting that on YouTube because we've got to protect their good name. It's fucking amazing. That's why people are going over to. There's another channel. And I can't think of the. Can't think of the name. Oh, gone out of my head. But yeah, a lot of them that they put the censored version on YouTube and the uncensored version on. I can't think of the other channel. You know, I just don't get it. You know, like I say, there was a time when you could say what you wanted, as long as you weren't inciting. You know, like free speech used to be. You could say what you like, as long as you don't. You know, basically break the law and you don't try to incite somebody to commit, you know, to break the law, you know. Now, you know, you get, you know, ugh, things are going to shit. Henry Crypto said hi. Welcome back, Mark. Thank you very much. Daisy Wazy says, actually, Daisy Wazy, what is that crown? I see a crown #2 in a little blue background. Is that, did you put that on there, or is that something that automatically goes on there? I don't believe I've ever seen that before on previous live streams. Anyway, Daisy Wazy goes on to say, in the 70s, the Black and White Minstrels was a very popular Saturday evening show. Indeed. You know, back in the old days, you could do that stuff. You know, but you know, I don't get it. You know, people are just up in the air, and you know, because it's fashionable to be outraged. I watched a video the other day. For some reason, it's beyond me. The Americans like to have surveillance cameras in every room in their houses. They film, and what will they do? The kids might do something funny or witty or scripted, funny and witty, and then they'll put it on YouTube. Why they would want cameras in the fucking rooms is beyond me. But and I was watching one of those in-house security ones. This guy, he puts it up. He's having what he does. His two kids are sitting on the couch. He comes in and he has a mask on his face. I don't know what the mask was. It was a coloured mask. It was a dark mask. It might have been a face pack or something. He didn't. I don't. He didn't paint his face black. It was only. He's only like. It was only like, you know, from around here. It might have been like a cool mask or something to cool his face down or something. He comes in, sits down on the couch, and his little girls. They must have been about 8 years old, and they're like, "Dad, what are you doing? You can't do that. What is wrong with you?" You know, he's going, no. It's not a. He was like fucking apologising to his two fucking 8-year-old kids. You know, no, it's not a mask. No, it's a face mask. It's not a, you know, it's not a face paint or nothing. No. And they're like, "Dad, what are you thinking? You know, like you know, you can't be doing that." You know, and I wrote my comment in there, slagging him off. You know, but that's what it's like. Where a man can't. Oh, that was it. I wrote to the comment that says, "Yeah, my reaction would be, I'm the guy putting food on your fucking plate, young lady. So you don't tell me what to do in my own house." Something along those lines, right? Imagine, and this grown-ass man was apologizing. You know, no. It's not black. It's not a face paint. No, it's just a mask I'm wearing for. He's you. You wouldn't catch me apologizing to an 8-year-old for nothing, you know. Even if I'm wrong, I'm fucking not apologizing to an 8-year-old. And anyway, but that's how bad things are. That's the kind of state that the world is in, where a dad will start shitting himself because his two 8-year-old kids are calling him out. Let's see. Pal was Hackhan. I suppose that's the trouble. When words are all put together, I've got to try and decipher it. Pal Wash Hackhan. Hi, can you shout out Ariz, please? Please, 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 please. It's my birthday. Please, please, please. Aha, all right. Shout out to Ariz. Happy birthday to you. Doesn't say how old you are, but happy birthday to you. Ah, Amok, M-O-K-K. You make some spectacular stir fries. Oh, yeah. I tell you what, I was quite impressed. I could make a stir fry out of anything. You know, I used to brag at places I used to tell about my channel that I can make up. What I've done, I've gone into the freezer and I've pulled 6 things out of the freezer. You know, when you got like 1 sausage left and 1 fish finger left and a bit of bacon and you know, I'd make a stir fry. You know, out of anything. I make a casserole out of. I've done a 6 meat casserole before. 1 sausage, you know, some bacon bits, a bit of pork chop. Cut it all up. You know, 6-piece casserole. Yeah, I tell you, it's just basically it's getting things you like, putting them together. You know. Yeah, I've done I had some Kentucky fried. I remember a Kentucky fried chicken once. I had a box full of Kentucky fried chicken. Come home, ate all the chicken. The next day or that night, I took a fork. I scraped every piece of chicken off the bone. All the bits you can't, you know, all the skin and all the bone. Just scraped it dry. Had a big mountain of Kentucky fried chicken scraps. It's amazing. You know, you get a load of chicken legs and chicken bits, eat the chicken, you know, you toss the rest of it away, but you're tossing a lot of it away, you know. Get a fork, scrape it all off, and yeah, had a big mound of chicken, turned that into a chicken stir fry the next day, had it for breakfast, you know. In fact, I can't remember what it exactly was called, but if you type in Mark's Remarks Kentucky Fried Chicken Stir Fry, bring that up, have a look. Write that down on a bit of paper. And in fact, just type in Mark's Remarks, in fact, anything. Mark's Remarks Sandwich, Mark's Remarks Stir Fry, just put Mark's Remarks in front of everything. Mark's Remarks alcohol drinks, you know. Actually, if you want any tips on alcohol drinks, look in my, what they call that, the playlist, you know. I've done some lagers, I've done a load of ciders, you know. A special stir fry. Yeah, I tell you what, my stir fries were legendary. GWYN just joined. Welcome. Nice to see you back, Mark. Says GWYN. Thank you very much. Oh, Liam, you've got the same thing as well. You've got a crown with #1, number 1, I guess, with a blue background. Did I miss Daisy Wazy's? Did she answer? No, she hasn't answered. She's got a crown with number 2. I don't know what that is. Can you explain what that is? I don't know. Anyway, Liam goes on to say, need to go now, Mark. Thanks for the live stream and great to have you back. Thanks very much. Can't wait for the next one. Hopefully with some vodka and old boggy. Indeed, yeah, I've got to invest in another bottle of vodka. I've got. Oh, there you go. Actually, yeah, there's not very much in there. In fact, I could have that for breakfast tomorrow with my pressed orange juice. Anyway, anyway, well, thanks for joining, and yeah, don't forget to look at my latest video of the of my new fruit and vegetable juicer. Let me know what you think, and all right, well, thanks for joining. N17, do you remember me? N17. I'm trying to. I mean, I do remember there are a lot of names but I do remember N17. I remember a band called East 17, but that's nothing. I don't know. But a lot of people, they change their name. You know, I get used to having one name, and then they decide to go change their name. Uh, mind you, if you've changed your name, maybe that's what it is. Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Hot T4. My advice: boring but useful. Save a little bit of money from each pay packet. Indeed, I tell you what, that's some good advice. And also, I would add to that, yeah, put a little bit amount every day. Put it into, say, you can actually open a separate bank account. You can have your regular bank. I have two at the Barclays. One that wages go in. Oh, I might sneeze. I don't know. Wages go in, bills go out, in and out, in and out. That's the thing. And then I have a separate one with connected to the eBay. So any stuff that I sell on eBay, which my username, by the way, is DUR. No, wait a minute. Oh, fuck. MADDUR dash 5611. All that money goes into a separate account. So you know, because so that way, if if anybody hacks it, then. But yeah, have a separate account. Have it like you say, put a little bit of money each week. But also, I would add to that your loose change. You know, get a tin. You can buy those sealed tins. It's like a huge tin, sealed up. It's got a hole in the top, or make your own. Get a ketchup bottle like I've got up there, and just put your loose change in there. Keep your pounds, your £2, but everything. I used to work with a guy that what he used to do was put everything that was, but not £2, but everything below £2. So £1, 50 pences, 20 tens, five, everything below pounds and under. He used to just put into the jar, and that's what he did. And every year, that was his holiday money. It does. If you just put I tell you what though, what is an example of that was. What I do, I've got this shopping bag, right? It's one of those shopping bags forever kind of bullshit. You buy a bag and it lasts forever. It's a co-op one. You take it to the co-op, it's got all your stuff in there. Put your keys in there, just carry it to the shop. And go to the shop. What I used to do was I still do it sometimes, but if I'm paying cash, sometimes I pay by card. You pay with cash, your money, you get the change, and the change I used to throw into the bag with all the groceries, and then take the groceries out. It's got your keys in there, it's got your hat in there, it's got your everything in there. The money used to accumulate, and I tell you what, every month I used to go in there. I don't fucking go in there. I'd clear out the bag, get handfuls of fucking change. I'd have 30 quid in coins, after a month. Just a little bit here, just basically, all the coins just thrown into the bag and it goes to the bottom. You just leave it there, and every month pull it out. And you'd be amazed. You just put that into a jar, and it builds up. Okay, what we got? Amanda Chill. Do you buy many carrier bags in shops? Do you have tips, as I buy loads each week? Which are the best bags? Well, no. I'm begrudged getting bags from anywhere because I went to the market today to buy a load of fruit for my new juicer, and they charged me 5p. What I did, I had my big co-op bag for life bag, that had all the oranges and apples in there, but I needed a separate bag to buy the pineapple because I could, So, and they said, "Oh, do you want a bag?" It'd be five. It's charged me 5 pence for it. The co-op even more. I think they're a nearer. I think they used to be 5p. I think they're nearer 10 pence. last time I asked, So no, I'm begrudged going to anywhere and paying for a carrier bag. One, because I'm begrudged paying for it, but if I've got my own bag, but what I used to do as well before I got that bag for life bag, I made it a habit of sometimes putting a bag into a pocket. If I'm wearing my say work trousers and they've got several pockets, I fold up a carrier bag, nice and neat, so it's a small bag, slide it in your pocket so you've always got one. Or if I know I'm going to, that's so if I'm going to the shop and I don't know I'm going to the shop, I've got one on me. If I'm going to the shop and I know I'm going to the shop, I'll get 1 or 2 bags out of the, I've got one bag which I put all the other bags in, and just take 2 of those down to the shop with me, so I've got them. Instead of paying. I tell you what though, because it doesn't sound much. You pay 10p a bag, but you figure how many times do you go to the shop? And if you don't take your bag, you're paying 10 pence every time you go to the shop. Say you go to the shop. Say you go 3 times a week, for example. You go to the shop, you get some cereal, you go a couple of days later, you get a sandwich and some milk, you get some. Say you go 3 times a week and you get a bag each time. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12. That's £1.20 a month. What's that? That's 12 plus 12, 20 is, what's that? That's 13. That's £13 a year. Just on those little carrier bags that you pay every time you go. £13 a year doesn't sound a whole hell of a lot, but when you put that £13 along with everything else, you know what? Everybody, get your pen ready again. What's that? Oh, fuck me. The list. You can get my playlist. In my playlist, there's the money saving tips, right? I mean, I do it now. I'm selling some shit on eBay, right? I'm using. I'm using cereal boxes to post. I've got 5 PlayStation 3 games and 5 PlayStation 2 games. I get 5 of them in here with some padding, These are envelopes. When a gas bill comes in, or a bank statement, what I do is I carefully get a knife and I open it so it's nice and neat. I'll reuse the envelope, seal it up again with a bit of sellotape. If need be, I'll put a sticker over the window, but not always. I'll just reuse them. Yeah, I've got a big stack of them. Look at that. I just get a black pen, mark out, just cross off all the details of who it's the return envelope to. There you go. Yeah, I've got a big stack of them. I'll reuse the envelopes. Those those DVDs you used to get from the free with the newspaper. These are food cardboards. Like if you get say a tray with a meal in it, it comes with a cardboard sleeve. It's not a box, it's just a sleeve that they put over it. You take that off, turn it inside out, so all these shiny. Let's see if I can. There you go. The shiny bits on the inside, because that's not much good for writing, and then you write the new address on the That's a bit of a, what's this? This is a same thing. Oh, actually, no, this is a pizza box. Did the same thing, just fold it inside it. Anyway, my point is, do I use carrier bags? No, I'll reuse them and I'll reuse packaging, because they charge you. Go to the these envelopes, right? You can see what size they are. I've actually got couple of packs down there I bought off of somebody from there were excess stock, so I didn't pay full price. But they got them they sell them in the co-op. You pay money for a pack of 25 envelopes that size, you know. And then you've got people like the bank sending them to you, or the TV license people sending you a threatening letter. I reuse. I've got down there. You know the TV license people. They sometimes send a red letter or red envelope. One of these is a white one that they sent. Yeah, just read it. So don't buy bags. Just reuse them. Don't buy envelopes and packaging. I did a thing ages ago where when I had a PO box, I invited people to send me letters on the PO box made from dog food boxes, cereal boxes. There you go. If you cut a square out of here, make a postcard. You write on the inside part of it. You can make make four postcards. Yeah, cut that in half down there. Make four postcards. And if you want to know how big a postcard is, you know just make it the same size as one of these. They deliver one of these. This is the right size. It'll fit through the little hole. You know the little. They have they when you go to the post office, they put it through the this bit of card or to see if it'll fit. You know. So that's how measure it against a letter. You know. Yeah, you make postcards. So yeah, you don't have to buy nothing. And people, I've worked in warehouses where they throw mountains of bubble wrap away. They sell that in rolls in the co-op. You know, a couple of pounds for a 2-meter piece of bubble wrap. I've been to places where they can't get rid of it fast enough. You know. So yes, don't buy any of that shit. Just so if you want any packaging, if you're selling stuff on eBay or whatever else, use an old newspaper. Use an old newspaper, crunch it up, stuff that in there. Don't go buying packaging. It's Lee75. Hello, Mark. Nice to see you live. You should be Prime Minister. This country is down the pan. Indeed, it is. Oh, it is the country. Yeah, I mean the country's been going down the shitter for years, which is why. I mean, I'm one of these people. I like to keep up with world events, but quite honestly, for the last several years, quite a few years actually, I don't keep up with English news. It is too fucking depressing the way they're fucking this country up left and right. I watch the American news. That's so much more. I tell you, I mean, they're even crookeder than we are. Well, our government, Jesus. Our government, the people in our government, they do everything covertly. You know, there was one politician. He was getting taxpayers' money to pay his wife as carer for their children. You know, most people go out and get a nanny. He had us paying his wife to be the nanny for his own fucking kids. Our country, they do that covertly. It's when the people find this out and think, oh shit, right, well now you're in trouble. In America, they'll do that and say, yeah, I'm doing it. What are you going to do? You know, they make pretty much they're not even bothered. They get called out on it. They don't care. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She's been insider dealing like you wouldn't believe. And when she was pulled up on about it, she says, well, I'm allowed to buy shares, aren't I? Shit, what's the big deal? You're allowed to buy shares? He's allowed to buy. I'm allowed to buy shares. They don't care, you know. So yes, so I mean, they're a lot more entertaining. You know, I mean, they're even more fucked up than we are, the American country, but they're more entertaining to watch. Oh, George C is in the house. Aha. Catch you in 30 minutes as I have an errand first. Ah, well, if you have an errand first, don't worry. If you're still there, George C, just leave the live stream running. You know, all the you don't have to shut down or anything. Just leave it running. It'll keep the minutes ticking on. Yeah, could have done with you earlier. I'll tell you what, there was some guy posing as YouTube customer services was writing all kinds of shit. Could have done with you blocking him. I can't seem to block any. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I've got some symbols down the side of my screen, and none of them make any sense. There's some arrows going in an opposite in a circle. There's a little microphone. There's a diamond. There's a square with a face with a corner folded over. There's what looks like a pencil or a microphone. So, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, because I know you're one of the moderators. But yeah, if you see that guy, you can block the shit out of him. He's posing as YouTube customer services. Rumble, that's it. Yeah, hot T4 activities, alternatives for YouTube. Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey. Yeah, Rumble's the one that I was trying to think of earlier. When YouTube tried to protect the paedophiles from being outed on YouTube, they heavily censor the videos. So what they do, they have to go onto Rumble with the. Actually, I mean, if I can get that guy around to help me fix my computer, yeah, no. If I can transfer everything over to a different channel, because I'm sick of fucking YouTube as well. You know, they're giving me shit every 5 minutes. Cancelling some of my videos and you know what I yeah, and you can't speak your mind hardly. You know, it's Daisy Wazy and Twitch. You know. Oh, you still haven't answered what that crown symbol is. Next to it, Daisy Wazy, and there's a crown #1 on a blue background. I don't know. Can you see that on your end? Because I can see it on my end, but I don't know what it is. If you know, let me know by all means. Because somebody else has the crown #2 on it. You know. Oh shit! What happened there? Oh fuck! Oh, that was like I pressed the screen and it went haywire. Hot T4. Yes, my reply to those kids too. My house, my rules. Yeah. When you pay the bills, you can have a say. Indeed. You know, I'm reminded because when I was watching that dad fucking quiver in front of his two kids, it reminds me of Road to Perdition, the one with Tom Hanks and Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig's in it. Tom Hanks is the hitman. You know, this is back in the 40s, you know, and Tom Hanks is the hitman, and Jennifer Jason Leigh is the mum, and they've got two kids, two sons. And there's and the dad, Tom Hanks, says, "Oh, listen, I'm not going to be able to go to your school." I don't know what it was, some kind of thing he was going to do with his son. You know, it's school play or something. He says, "I'm not going to be able to go with you." And the kid says, "Why?" And the mum jumps in, "Putting food on your table, young man. That's why." Meaning, you know, he's got when it comes to earning and putting food on the table or going to your recital or school play or whatever bullshit thing you've got going on, you don't have a fucking say, right? You're a kid, because the kid was getting a bit, you know, well, why? Well, why can't you go? You know, putting food on your plate, young man. And I thought that answer was so great, and that's what this dad should have done. When the girl says, "Yeah, Dad, you can't be going on with a face mask on. It's not right. You can't be doing that." You know, said, "Listen, I pay the bills. You know, I'll do what I like. You don't like it, you can go fucking sleep in the garden. You know, or get your own house. You know." But yeah, I mean, that's what reminds me of that scene from the movie Road to Perdition, and it was perfect. You know, basically it's saying, yeah, you know, you don't ask your dad nothing. All right, he's out there working his ass off. All right, he's killing people. You know, but he's out there earning, putting food on your back, shirt on your back, and food on your plate. You know. Those kids, yeah. I mean, who the hell? What kind of kid does that? You know, they have the fucking nerve. You know. Anyway. Javid Rashid. You Terry Wogan's brother. Tirai. Oh, people are Tesco 40 pence as to 60 pence. Morrison's 80. I think people are talking amongst themselves. Lisa Markey says hello with a big hand. Hello to you. Ah, okay. Daisy Wazy with the Crown says the Crown is just a YouTube engagement thing. It rewards those who chat most. Nothing any of us are interested in for sure. Nothing any of us are interested. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, there is something. I'm not set up, but certain videos that I watch, they have the hype. You can show your appreciation by pressing the hype button, and it gets people noticed a bit more. I don't have that, but I'll see if I can get that. When they started to advertise the idea to us months ago, I couldn't see what the know what it was about. Couldn't see the relevance, but yeah, it's interesting. More people that yes, so it's something YouTube give over to you. In actual fact, yeah, I mean I get information. I don't get any information on you people who send comments and stuff, other than sometimes it'll say this person has received the most hearts or something. Like if I particularly like a comment, I'll reply to a lot of comments, but if I particularly like one that's interesting, I'll put the heart thing on there to show back. Yeah, I appreciate your comment. And it tells me that this person, whoever, has the most amount of hearts or is in the top 10 of people who've got the most amount of hearts and that kind of shit. But other than that, I get very little information on who's doing what. Are the crown system at the top? Hot says, are the crown symbols for the top chatters in live chat or something? Yeah, I think that's what she's. Daisy Wazy Crown is just a YouTube engagement thing. It rewards those who chat most. Yeah, I don't know. It could be the regular channel. It could be on the live and the regular videos. I don't know. But it pays, even if they're not talking to me. You can always put something in the comments to comment on somebody else's comment. I mean, even that's fine, you can a lot of people go backwards and forwards with each other. They're not always talking to me. Even that in the comment in the regular videos as well as live. So sometimes I'm reading stuff on the live here, thinking, what the fuck, and then it turns out they're not talking to me. Amanda Chill. Amanda Cahill. My eyes are going funny. I'm tired. Do you still accept gifted items? Well, that's the thing. I don't have a PO box anymore. Maybe one day I'll get it back again. It costs a bunch of money. I can't remember, something like £15 a month or some shit. I'm getting a flash up. The Critical Drinker is going live as well. Yeah. I get that flashed up at the top of my screen. Yeah, I don't. I don't have a PO box anymore. Ages ago, get this, I'd go into I went into my local corner shop. It's a privately owned corner shop, and what they do, they accept that they collect parcels for parcel force, I guess, to come in. If you've got any shit that you need to be posting to somebody as an alternative to the post office, You can go into the shop and they stack them in the corner, and then the courier comes and picks them up and whips them away. I went in there ages ago when I first got my when I got a what they call it, a post box. I found out what the pricing was, and I went in there and I said, listen, if you're interested, because you're open noon till fucking dawn till dusk, if you want, if I can use your shop address as a delivery point for my correspondence of people writing making postcards out of cereal boxes and whatever else. How about I pay you a monthly fee and you just get them when the postman brings the letters. You put them in the corner. Every couple of days, I'll come round. I'll pick them up. They wouldn't go for it, I mean, I would have given them £10 a month or something like that. Plus, I mean, I could just walk there in 5 minutes. I don't have to make a special bus ride. They would have earned a few quid, cash in hand, mind you. It wouldn't go through the till. I'll give them £10 for a month's, just hold, just accept letters from, I'd do it for a fucking tenner. Shit. But no, they wouldn't go for it. If I could, if I might have another word with them, because I mean, there's a few shops. Yeah, I mean, there's a few shops there, but not all of them are privately owned by citizens. A lot of them are franchise. One of them's a co-op. The other one's a franchise chicken place. The Chippy had a fire, so they're out of action, and that leaves the Stani shop. They're the ones who haven't, they wouldn't go for it. But if I'll go in there and ask them again, and I'll see if I get more sense out of them. See if I can, if they'll go for it, then I could start up another PO box. I'll give them their address. I don't want to give them my address, otherwise it gets all kinds of fucking fruitcakes and weirdos and psychos knocking on my door. It's bad enough I've got to meet them out on the street, but it's like I'm knocking on my door. But I'll ask them, and then and then it'll be interesting because the last one was quite fun because it was interesting to see what kind of, because people, once I showed people that it actually works, I actually sent myself an envelope made out of a cereal box, a postcard, and I showed them in front of the on my money saving tips on the playlist. I actually showed it in there, posted it to myself, and people were sending, Mr. Kipling's apple pies. I'm making a postcard out of that. Cereal, pizza boxes. As long as it's got a stamp on it, the post. Because I mean, you look at a postcard. What is a postcard? It's a piece of card with a picture on one side of a seaside, of a building, of an aeroplane, and it's plain on the other, where you put the stamp and you write the address on it. People think I'm cheapskate for making them out of a cereal box, but I mean, it's exactly the same thing. Only I didn't. Right. Oh, I'll tell you, I've got to wear it right next time. I'm going to wear a darker T-shirt because, like I said earlier, I've got the white wall with a white T-shirt with white writing, and I have to put my face in front of the words just to better read it because there it becomes almost invisible. It's white on white. George C says, "Good to see you, Mark. What made you come back? I guess the world has given us enough topics." Well, that's the thing. I had a bunch of people. Once I made that video of the mystery box that I sold on eBay, I might do another one of those, actually, a mystery box, just gathering some crap around the house, and putting it in a box. I made a video of it, and people saw that. I think, where the fuck you mean? Can you do a live stream? And I thought, it's been a long time, because once I had a break, I needed to just have a break. I had nothing, to. Just needed a break. Trouble is, once you've had a break for a while, then then that time, you think, that time gets longer and longer and longer and longer and longer, and then after a while, it gets harder to come back because you've had so much time, and then all of a sudden, it turns into like 8 months or so, because the previous one for that was ages ago, and that was the £50 note, the plastic. Well, actually, it was the plastic 50, and the 20, and the 10, and the 5. Some of them were actually quite popular. The people. I showed the £50 note, and did the showed it against the old Queen face against the King Charles. Yeah, but yeah, topics. Yeah, any topics. I've got a. In fact, George C, you came in a little bit late, but if you once we're done, when you go back, I'm guessing you'll go back to the beginning of the thing at some point and watch the live stream from the beginning. I talk about another incident I had at the shopping centre with one of those litter ticket enforcement people. They were hassling some woman, so I jumped in. So I've got a little story about that that happened at 1 o'clock this afternoon, which was 8 hours ago. Okay. Oh, okay. R. Hamlin, what is your favourite flavour of crisps? Favourite flavour of crisps? Well, I like the old school. All right, I'm the salt and vinegar. I like salt and vinegar, prawn cocktail, cheese and onion. They're the flavours I grew up with. Yeah, those you can depend on. Nowadays, I mean, there's other flavours that I like as well. Sometimes the occasional. Sometimes I go for the chicken, but or if they bring out a new flavour. In fact, I went to Lidl's yesterday, and I bought this. I'll do it. I've actually got to check because I've got no idea, because I might have even done a review on this. I don't know. It's just interesting. Suffolk cider, sea salt, and Suffolk cider vinegar, hand cooked potato crisps. I might have done a review in this in the past. I don't know. So what I'll do, I'll have to check. And so when things like that come up that look interesting, I'll go for those. But my favourite would have to be salt and vinegar. Walker's salt and vinegar. Although I do, go for other cheaper brands. Yeah, salt and vinegar, cheese and onion, prawn cocktail. If I buy Pringles, which I tell you what, they're taking a piss, because what happens is Pringles in the co-op, they'll be like £1.85. I think they go to £1.25. I don't know, sometimes, but mostly £1.85. Right? 2 days later, you go back. £1.80. Yeah, £1.85. You go a couple of days later, and it's up to £2.50. You go a few days, a week or so later, you go back to £1.85. They're a piss take. So when they're on cheap, I'll buy the salt and vinegar Pringles. The trouble is, I end up getting my lips get ripped to hell when I eat the whole packet of salt and vinegar. Oh, you know what I did the other day? I didn't film it, but what I did, I made a ham sandwich. What was it I had? Bread. I put some mustard on there, some ham, some gherkin, some cheese, and I think some sliced chicken, some of that cheap ass sliced chicken. And then I put a load of salt and vinegar Pringles in there and crushed it all down. And it actually, it's quite good. Actually worked. Daisy Wazy. Now everybody carries a personal communicational and tracking device. Sending postcards has fallen out of fashion. Indeed. A great shame and the end. Great shame and the end of those carousels of saucy postcards and the newsagents. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, when you used to go to the seaside, used to buy those seaside postcards. You know, it's just a shame. You know, because I mean, postcards are good. You know, I like looking at the stamps. You know, um, I've what I did. I found. I went up in the loft and found my old stamp collection, and I had some Nazi Hitler stamps up there in the collection, and some of them have actually got the date, you know, the franking stamp on it from like 1940. You know, one of them had a Krakow post stamp on it. You know, I find that interesting. You know, you find a postcard and it's got a, you know, it's got the date. Actually on my eBay channel, I think there might be. I might have to. You know, I thought it was a fair price, but I've got 4 postcards, and they've got the American George Washington, I think, stamp on it, and then some of them are dated 100. They're 100 years old. You know, the stamp, the postcard, it's been franked. You know, like 1911, and you know, I think I've got 'em. Anyway, anyway, but yeah, I like you know, I like looking at the date stamp and think, Christ, you know. Okay, council, yeah, yeah. Besides, I mean, who doesn't like getting a postcard, you know? And I mean, I mean, it's cheaper to send an email, but it's not as fun, you know. Going out, choosing a postcard, writing it. You know, like if you go to we've been to years ago. We went to Blackpool. Was it Blackpool or Bournemouth? I think it's Blackpool, the pier that goes out into the ocean. If you go onto the pier, go into the shop, buy a postcard, you can buy a stamp, you put it in the post box, which is on the pier, it will be franked as Blackpool Pier, you know? I'm sure it's Blackpool. So, but you know, because you know, like if you went to one that's on the mainland, it would have the postmark of what area that post box was in, but it will have this. It will have the postmark of the pier, which makes it a bit special. Tom Z, I like the Walker's Builders breakfast ones. Yeah, well, you know, they actually, I think there was a couple of good ones when Walker's come out with. I think they asked the viewers, the customers, to think of different flavors, and somebody come up with a Builder's breakfast. Um, you know, you know, you know, cheese pizza flavored and all this kind of shit. They don't look for some reason they don't last. I don't know whether they don't sell, but they don't last long. It's a bit of a shame because you know, we need some decent ones. I mean, admittedly, I do try other flavors. It's mainly for the channel. I'll buy flavors that I wouldn't normally buy just for the channel. LB, I love oyster. Oh, roysters. I thought that was oysters. Oh shit. I mean, I don't know how hungry I would have to be to eat. I mean, imagine how hungry the first person to find an oyster. How desperate would they have needed to be? They go to the beach, open up this clamshell, and there's this big load of fucking mess in there. Ugh. It's either that or I'm going to starve. I'm going to die if I don't eat. How, you know, they eat. They'd have to be in some bad shape. No, I thought that was oysters. I like royster. Yeah, I think I've had roysters. Roysters, I think, are the puffy crisps. I think. Yeah, Mike Awesome's Mike Awesome says Doritos sweet chili. I don't think I've had the cheese and I've had the hot ones. They're the only 2 flavors I seem to find in the co-op. The hot ones are not really that hot. They're mildly spicy, but yeah, yeah. I tell you, we do need some other flavors. It's like we have. I think we got. I don't know. My local co-op has like 4 different flavors of Pringles. And the Americans have got fucking 20 of them. Jesus. Oh. See, there's another one. See, we were just talking about that. People changing their names. I get used to having a name. Pumbar says, "Hi, Mark. It's English Heart here. I remember English Heart. Do you think this country will make it to Christmas without falling apart?" Well, each day it's getting slightly worse. Let me tell you, we've only got was it now the 4th month? So we've got another what's that 8 months to go. Yeah, every day it seems to be getting a little bit, you know. But it's funny that we were talking earlier. And there's a perfect example. I remember English Heart, yeah, but now I've got to remember Pumbar. It's a bummer trying to remember because there's so many names, and I do remember because I see them often enough. I remember a lot of names, but just when I get done with there, people go change them. Tom says, I work on a oyster farm, and I wouldn't. Ah, see, this is where I have to decipher people's comments. Work on an oyster farm, and you wouldn't. I'm guessing you wouldn't eat them. Yeah, I tell you what. No, I can't imagine being so hungry that I would consider eating an oyster. Just no. When I went to Spain to run with the bulls years ago. We went to a restaurant, and they gave us. There was these like squid, which I'm trying to think of about the size of one of them small oranges, mandarins or tangerines, a small orange. It was a squid the size of that, and all its legs were tucked up into its body, so it was a big ball of fucking sea creature. And they were serving that shit up, you know. None of us in the group, well, one of us in the group, ate it, but no, you know. The other thing they served. Oh man, it's crazy. You know how the spine, ours is from top to bottom. You've got those rings together. What they call them, vertebrae, I think, or to make up the spine. With a cow or an animal, it's horizontal because that's the way a cow's spine works. You imagine you take the spine from a cow, you separate all those little links that make up the vertebrae, and you take that link, you put it in a bowl of stew, and then bon appetit. That's what they served us in Spain as well. A piece of cow vertebrae. I suppose in a bowl of soup. I suppose it's the marrow that was in there. Oh boy! But that was the two weirdest things that we saw food wise in when we run with the bulls. That's the farm. Tom says, yes, would have to put them in a purification tank first. Indeed, yeah. Or do what they do with meat pies and food product. Mush it into a paste and then put it into a pastry pie. That's the thing. At least England's got its problems, but at least we have the decency to make unappetizing food, disguise it into something else, turn it into a paste, turn it into a jelly, turn it into a meat pie. Don't just put it on a plate and go for it. No. Oh, Pumbar, formerly English Heart, says he didn't change it. YouTube updated it. That's strange. Was you inactive for a while? No, but even then they shouldn't. I don't know. Did they give a reason, Pumbar, why they changed it or updated it to? It's strange. It's strange that they. Ah, Basil Fawlty. Ah, I recognise that name. Mark, you're alive, indeed. Yeah, I just had a break for a while. Yeah. But I'm back. I'm going to make some more videos. I put a video up. I put it up today, actually, about half hour before I went live. I've got a fruit extractor. You know, extracting the juice from the fruit. I got one of those. Made a video of it. I made one video. I've got another 3 more that I've got to film because I've got a pineapple. I've got some oranges. Got some apples. So yeah, look out for that, Basil Fawlty. And actually, it's funny. Fawlty Towers came up in conversation a couple of hours ago about different standards of comedy between us and the Americans, and Fawlty Towers came up. But yeah, Basil Fawlty, as you've joined very late, eventually, if you go back to the beginning, I had another incident with a litter picking enforcement person. Wasn't as bad as the one I had last year when that nearly erupted into a riot. But this one was, I discussed that earlier on at the start of the video. Anyway, oh wow, look at that. 185 minutes. 60, 120, that's fuck me, 3 hours. 3 hours and 5 minutes. You know what? That's the thing. It's flown, but it doesn't feel like 3 hours. My ass is aching like crazy sitting on this, because I'm not big on sitting down for long periods of time. It's not something I like to do. I start to ache. But it's flown by 3 hours. I tell you what. Anyway, I tell you what. It's 9:30. I need to get something to eat. And I was actually before I went live. I was actually, because I've got this on for sale on my eBay. I was actually gonna try and watch this before somebody buys it. I put this on eBay today, so somebody's got the chance. But yeah, and the trouble is, there's 8 hours of footage in here. It's season 5, part 1. 484 minutes, which I worked out as 8 hours. 484 minutes. If you work it out, 8 hours. I think it's 8 hours and 4 minutes. So I was going to try and watch this before somebody buys it. So if you want this, then oh boy, get a bargain before somebody else jumps in. But I'm going to try and watch a few episodes before it goes. Yep, thank you, Basil Fawlty. Good to hear. Glad to see you back. Thank you very much. Yeah, Daisy Wazy. Says she's going to call it in and head to bed. Go to bed. Good to see you back, Mark. Thank you, and take care of all in the chat, except the annoying who. Yeah. There's just been one I think that I've noticed. That one passing themselves off as YouTube customers. Well, thank you for joining the channel today, Daisy Wazy, and there'll be another one, possibly another. Well, there'll be more to bitch about, and if I run into any psychos out there on my daily life, I'll come back and tell everybody. No, Plumber Pumbar says it's the username. The channel name is English Heart. Anyway, all right, I'm going to call it night. It's been over 3 hours. Everybody, you got about 10-15 seconds to hit the like, hit the thumbs up. There's 20 thumbs up. See if we can get a few more within the next 10 seconds. And there'll be more videos to come. Keep tuned. Hit the subscribe. The usual shit, and then you'll be notified. Oh, it's jumped to 21 now. You'll be notified of any new videos. Yeah, those. I'll do a few more of those fruit, and then once I've done all the fruit I can do, then I'll move on to vegetables, and I'll try and do mixes. Okay. All right. Oh, 23. Excellent. Right. Now I've got to try and figure out how to end this live stream. Ugh. I tell you, every time I go away for a while, I come back and then YouTube have changed everything. I think. All right. So I'm going to hit that button up the top here. 23 thumbs up. Thank you very much. And thank you everybody for joining. And I'm going to call it a night. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.